Generations testify. The book remembers what the crowd forgot.
Set his line, kept the promise.
Echo of the Most High.
Echo of the Most High.
And Adam knew Eve again. She bore a son, called his name Seth. For YAHUAH has appointed me another seed instead of Abel. To Seth also a son was born, he called his name Enush. Then men began to call upon the name of YAHUAH. Genesis 4 verses 25 to 26.
Seth's lineage, call his name in the night and the day. Righteous thread through the smoke and the clay. 10 names counted from Adam to rain. Faith don't fall to blessing and pain. Yeah, blessing and pain. Yeah, blessing and pain. Yeah, blessing and pain.
Yeah, Eve said appointed that seed on assignment. Standing where Abel fell, bloodline alignment. Enosh called on the name, public agreement. When wickedness rose, they formed real treatment. Others east of the gate, watchmen of Eden. Hands in the dust, but the covenant breathing. Not loud stages, just oil and flame. Not new doctrine, an ancient name.
We the assembly, write that line in your chest. If you forget Seth, you forget what's next.
Jubilees records how the fathers taught. Fear YAHUAH and the sons they brought. First book of Adam and Eve, no Seth wise. Guard in the way where the east wind cries. Years like rivers 900 long, but truth stays sharper than the battle song. They faced the gate where the sword still turned. Sang with the serpent, Cain unlearned.
From fields of blood, the testimony ran. Same word written by the author's hand. Says lineage, call his name in the night and the day. Righteous thread through the smoke and the clay. 10 names counted from Adam to rain. Faith don't fall through blessing and pain. Head we blessing and pain. Head we blessing and pain. Head we blessing and pain.
By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death. For before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased YAHUAH. Hebrews 11 verse 5.
Enoch walked 3 centuries straight and stepped through a door, men called too late. Translation, proof that the promise breathes. When the Ruach writes, the flesh believes. Methuselah counted the judgment near. Lamish named comfort prophetic, clear. Noah built mercy in wood and pitch. Storm it hard, but the line did not glitch. Pointed, not optional. Not living. Name, not nickname. Covenant, not Dickel. If the world forgets Seth, they forget to start. They erase this link, they erase the chart. No David, no promise, no royal art. You low-key lose the map when you skip this part. YAHUAH, Hanua, type it in, you agree. Ruamo, YAHUAH, stand up, plant the tree. Can I get BARAK? YAHUAH, Hanua in the chat, please. Write righteous line leaves if you guard these keys. Joshua, no sons who saw that dawn. Facing Eden's gate till the night was gone. Jubilees keeps memory clean. How the elders taught what the name still means. That's the church who said blank faces stare. Can't enabling sermons everywhere. But if Seth is missing from the family tree, you just cut the branch that holds the king. Without that seed, there's no David's throne. No Bethlehem, cry no cornerstone. So say his name, appointed thread. The path of promise chosen instead. Says lineage, call his name in the night and the day. Righteous thread through the smoke and the clay. 10 names counted from Adam to rain. Faith don't fold through blessing and pray. Yeah, through blessing and pray. Yeah, blessing and pray. Yeah, blessing and pray.
We the assembly, keep the line in play. We the assembly, keep the line in play. From dusk till dawn, he still appoints seed. Guard the name, guard the word, the creed. BARAK, YAHUAH, HALLELUYAH. Rumamu, YAHUAH.
BARAK YAHUAH, Mishpaka. BARAK YAHUAH. I had to play that. Why did I have to play Seth? Because the church don't talk about Seth. Like, new Mishpaka. Let me ask you something. Who is Seth? In the comments, new Mishpaka. Tell me about Seth. I bet you the new Mishpaka is like, wait, Seth, is he one of the prophets? No. Seth came after, okay, there's Cain, there's Abel, then there's Seth. A lot of people don't know this. And without Seth, there's nothing. Notice the church just omits Seth and they go off, they go straight for this Cain and Abel. It just made sense. And it kind of makes sense on what we're going to be going over today. Like the church don't talk about things, names disappearing, the conversations about important things just kind of don't get spoken about. So that's the reason why I wanted to play that. I wanted to share that with y'all. If you guys are on replay, we're going to hang out for like 30 minutes before we actually get started. If you're new, this is our community lobby. We just kind of kick it for 30 minutes. We just listen to music. Everybody tags their friends and family, the Mishpaka. They crack jokes and pick on me. That's Frankie and Adam and Jeremy and Robin and Shirley and James Green. There's a lot of jokesters in the. I see you, Shirley. I see you. I'm watching you today, sis. I'm watching you today. So they're just having fun. So you guys can join in. New Mishpaka, please, 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 please. Do not be shy. Join in on the fun. This next song, I gotta play for. Can I get Shabbat Shalom, baby girl, in the comments, please? Shabbat Shalom, baby girl, in the comments, please. If you don't know, baby girl is my mother. That's her nickname. And for you perverts out there, yeah, I said it. There are some perverts that turn around a long time ago when I said I called my mother baby girl as a nickname. They're like, why are you calling her baby girl? I'm like, yo, get out of here, man. Kick rocks. That's her nickname. All right. So the reason why I want to give I want everybody to give a Shabbat Shalom to baby girl, because this live is really inspired by her memory, by her baby girl. I love you so much. And this is her song. She would tell you this is her song. When I dropped this song a long time ago, months ago, once she heard it, she froze. She froze, and it since then she's always playing this song. She's like, my song is the highest, like getting more views than any other song on the whole playlist, and she's not lying. This is the #1 song on our YouTube playlist. That's, I think, it's close to maybe 80,000 views, but this is baby girl's song.
Deuteronomy 28, let me break it down real slow. YAHUAH told us what would happen. Now the whole world needs to know. Prophecy ain't just words, it's a living, breathing scroll. Every verse a warning, every line about to unfold. We the assembly, truth is our mission. Let's go. Cotton fields and ocean blocks, verse 68 came true. Ships across the water just like scripture said they do. You'll be sold as slaves again, that's what the Most High said. Now we're scattered across the nation just like YAHUAH word and read. Our history written before we even took our first breath. Change might look different, but the pattern's the same depth. From the middle passage to the modern day oppression, our story's a testimony, a prophetic confession. Every scar, every struggle, every tear that we cried is a chapter in the book where YAHUAH's truth resides. Don't believe it. Fact check. Let my people go. Let my people go. Prophecy fulfilled in real time, mental change we gotta break. Let my people go. Wake up now. Let my people go. See the truth. Scripture matching history. YAHUAH's word is the proof. Can't hold us down. Can't keep us bound. Truth is rising. Breaking. Can I get BARAK? YAHUAH in the comments, please. Oh. Lost our names, lost our language, worshiping their gods of stone. Adopted enemy religions, forgot the truth we known. Cultural amnesia, deeper than the physical chains. Mental slavery continuing while the prophecy remains. Generational curses flowing like a broken stream, but YAHUAH's redemption is more powerful than it seems. From the projects to the prisons, from the streets to the fields, our identity stolen, but our spirit never yields. They tried to erase us, try to write us out of history, but every curse spoken against us turns into YAHUAH's mystery. Drop room, more YAHUAH in the chat. Let's go. From the plantations to the projects, same curses, different day, but the blessing's still available if we turn back to YAHUAH's way. Our roots run deeper than their lies. Our story ain't finished, we're gonna rise. Broken systems can't define us. Our heritage has defined us. Every prophecy speaks our name. YAHUAH's promise breaks every chain. Don't believe me? Fact check me. Fact check me. Deuteronomy let my people go. Prophecy speaks, truth unfolds. Our identity can't be controlled. We're coming home, watch us grow. Yahuah's promise gonna show. From slavery to liberation, a spiritual restoration. Our story's not over, it's just begun. Freedom's rising with the setting sun. Whoa. Can I get room, YAHUAH, in the comments, please? Whoa. We the assembly forever. Let's go.
I love this song.
YAHUAH, this volume is for you. YAHUAH, let every breath we speak be true. YAHUAH, let every song return in praise. YAHUAH, let every heart rise in your ways. YAHUAH, take this offering as we begin. YAHUAH, let this volume draw us in, draw us near to your voice, to your truth, to your name. Yeah. Receive this work, it is yours. It is not for fame.
Now let the power speak what you have done.
YAHUAH,
Our Maker, our Father, our One.
YAHUAH, you call my breath to rise.
You call my breath to rise.
YAHUAH, you paint the dawn across the sky.
You form the deep before its tone.
YAHUAH, you shape the world from you alive.
You stretch the heavens wide and high.
YAHUAH, you lit the moon to bless the night.
You breathed on dust and life began.
YAHUAH, you touched the clay and raised a man.
You saw the fall, you felt the cry.
YAHUAH,
You kept your mercy standing by.
YAHUAH,
You watched the generations roam.
YAHUAH,
You called the broken back to home.
you heard the violence fill the land. You raised up Noah by your hand. You sealed the ark above the wave. You showed the world that you still save.
You called out Abram from the ground. You placed a promise in his sound. You carried Isaac through the test.
You wrote Yashar from his chest.
You broke the chains in Nazarene. You split the sea so we walk clean. You brought us where the mountain burned. You spoke the law the people spurned.
You carved commands with fire bright. You shook the heavens with your might. You crowned the peak with storm and flame. You sealed the covenant with your name. YAHUAH,
You found me wandering like the rest. You let the wilderness test my chest. You broke the false me I had grown.
you healed the child I hid alone.
You showed me truth beneath my dust. You taught my pride to bend to trust.
You held me when the night was long.
You turned my silence into song.
You lift my steps from fear to flame. You write your peace inside my frame. You breathe your ruach through my day. You guide my trembling into state. YAHUAH,
You call a remnant by your voice.
YAHUAH,
You give the weary heart a choice.
YAHUAH,
You gather us to walk as one.
YAHUAH,
You shine your light when night is done.
YAHUAH,
You make our assembly rise again.
YAHUAH,
You turn the broken into men.
YAHUAH, all the daughters into rest. You place your name in every chest. You let this volume be an altar. You steady every step that falters. You take these songs as offering due. You have our breath, this volume too. Yeah. Hey, oh, hey, oh. Oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. The air might really make this sun. You're
Two masters, two masters. Choose one. No middle ground, no halfway run.
1 feet greed, 1 feet faith, 1 print paper, 1 print grades.
Let's talk facts.
Let's talk facts.
Chasing a bag like freedom inside. Sold my time just to feed my pride. All seeing eye on a dollar sign. They worshiping God, worship design. Clock and scroll,
Feed the beast.
bought by dead.
Call it peace.
Fake rich, fake shine. Price tag sold for a temporary line. Who meant that meant not YAHUAH. Babylon Bank got the world on jaw.
They branded trust, but that print gon' fade. I'm talking eternity, covenant made.
Direct deposit, direct control. Did just ride, but the spirit low. Work all week, still feel long. Paid in paper, taxed and sold.
No on the house, note on the breath. Interest seat till the star what's left. Call it success, I call it death. Smile on the feet, quiet death.
No one can serve two masters. You'll hate one, love the other. Matthew 6:24.
Pick your side, truth or paper.
Two masters, same choice, new age. Roll the scripture, stage your cage. They print lies, he write light. Pick that side before midnight. Two masters, hearts on trial. Truth cut deep, no denial. YAHUAH reign, no great climb. Serve the king or serve the dime. They said,
Hustle hard, I did that race. Chase that bag, forgot his face. Now I'm back like prodigal flame. Pocket and people faith I gain.
every stream got a hidden string. Followers bold with the idol sing. I don't need flags, I need peace. Treasure in heaven, don't need receipts.
Say let's stop capping, ripping quick. Obedience, hit different, legit. Whoa.
Credit score,
Social rank,
worth the sign by
blink and bang.
trending now, gone by dawn. So still thirsty, moving on every essay.
You deserve,
Why they drain you, nerd?
no by nerve.
If your worth rise when your income due, ask who really rooting you. He that trusts in riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish like a leaf. Proverbs 11:28.
That's real growth. For where your treasure is, your heart gon' live. If you wallet louder than your worship, then greed your God, no ad-lib.
Facts.
Facts.
Audit the heart, check the books. Who you serve when nobody look?
If the blessing come with a chain, that ain't favor, that's more pain.
Rich or broke, same spirit of chase.
Faith in the bag make you lose his face.
All that grind just to die with stuff.
Miss that joy cause the greed too rough.
Babylon fall, stocks crash down.
Kingdom rise, crown to crown.
I'm done trying to flex with faith. Heard that call, yeah, I stayed.
No split love, no double bind. One truth left, renew your mind.
The love of money is the root of all evil. Some wander from faith, pierced with grief. 1 Timothy 6:10.
Choose the kingdom, not the green.
Two masters, two roads, one flame, world, one fame. I want his name. Paper burn, but glory remain. YAHUAH, well, don't run game. Two calls ring, answer clear. One in truth, one in fear. We the assembly, set in line. Serve the king or serve the dime.
BARAK, YAHUAH, no cap.
Facts.
Don't believe us, fact check truth. Drop kingdom over currency in the booth. One truth. Two masters. One truth.
Miss Parker, Man, I'm struggling on which songs I want to play next, man, because I'm thinking about our time frame, right? Part of me wants to play Birth Pains, but at the same time, for our study, I can't help but think about these two songs here. Let me see if I can. Hold on, I need to go up, not down, because it's very fitting. So these two songs that I want to play, I'm gonna play these back to back for y'all. I really want y'all to pay attention to the words. I want you to pay attention to what it's saying, and then as we do our study, I want you to maybe consider these songs and what it's saying. I think when I play them, you'll understand. You'll understand.
Open our eyes, open our hearts, is his nation. Let truth breathe quiet and deep, like a whispered truth refused to keep. You ever notice how the nation move? Lie bold in the light, smooth in the groove, smile in your face while they twist the proof, then blame you for believing what they led you to. That's narcissist power, nothing new. Same Jezebel spirit the scriptures drew. Manipulate hearts with a charming hue, rewrite the scene to the blame on you, make you think you crazy out of view, while they hide the machine like shadows do. And we the spouse who stay too long. Ain't no late nights, though we know it wrong. Ain't no lies on soft like a song. Ain't no baby, I swear, heard all along. We let them cheat our children strong to strong. Cheat our history, cheat what we belong. Call it freedom, know the chain still on. Call it liberty, though truth been gone. If a man pull this, you pack and be gone. But when the nation do it, you just move on. We salute deception like keep us strong. Standing loyal to a line, don't. Married to lies, blind to the sun. Married to lies, too long a time. Yeah. Ooh. Open our eyes, open our hearts. This is not his nation. Yeah. Ooh. Open our eyes, open our hearts. This is not his nation. They poison our food, yet we eat the plate, while other nations ban what our laws create. We know the truth, but sit and wait, silent while they legislate. They had the files in a locked up state, classified truth at a high mandate. 6 million maps in the archives gate. One showed Judah in the West Coast late, but traditions they trust the narrative straight. Trust what? The same hands known to fabricate, lie after lie at a steady rate. They distract with Hollywood and sports to numb the mind. Gossip designed to keep us blind. Politics stage for the frantic kind. Noise to erase what truth of mine. Classic narcissist, cold refined. Jezebel spirit in the super line, calling itself government intertwined. Waking up people is supposed to bind. See the sign, stop the blind. Wake your mind this time. Yeah. Ooh. Open our eyes, open our hearts. This is not his nation. Yeah. Ooh. Open our eyes, open our hearts. This is not his nation. If you spell lie like the nation do, you leave it done, you see it through. If he hit the bills and distorted you, gaslit your thoughts that you split into. Told you the memory recall ain't true. You pack the bag with the tie breakthrough. But when the nation do it, what we do? We vote, we pledge, we split into. Fight each other with a tribal view. While the liar and power stay out of view. They keep us bickering, rivers of blue. Left is right to the minds of you. Meanwhile the deceivers sitting true. Laughing at how easy we misconstrue. This ain't freedom, truth with true. This Babylon, this middle crew. Captivity born like a comfy shoe. Kept in the place by the lies we grew. Married to lie, the truth still shine. Break the bind, open our eyes this time. Yeah. Ooh. Open our eyes, open our hearts. This is not his nation. Yeah. Ooh. Open our eyes, open our hearts. This is not his nation. Yeah. Ooh.
BARAK YAHUAH. Mishpaka, I know we're gonna get started a little late because I want to play this one last song. I'm sorry. I just gotta play this next song. It's one of my favorites. This one right here, I just woke up one day and I just couldn't help but think, like, wait a minute. If there's a marriage and a person is cheating on the other spouse and lying nonstop, and it seems to be a never-ending thing, right? And that person, what's the statement? I might mess this up, but I think y'all know what I'm saying, that a person will show you who they are, right? And especially when they're consistent with it and they're showing no signs of changing it. Like, you get what I'm getting at? I thought about that and I'm thinking, like, wait a minute, where we're residing. I'm trying not to say the name. Y'all with me, right? Y'all with me. Y'all put the place that that I'm talking about. Put it in the comments, please. But I couldn't help but think, like, they nonstop lying. You lied about Kennedy. You lied about Martin Luther King. You lied about a lot of different secret operations. Yeah, you're right. That's right. We found some stuff. Went on the CIA's website and also found that they have an Adam and Eve. They did a study on Adam and Eve. Why would the CIA do a study on Adam and Eve? And then they have sanitized copy. Very interesting. So it dawned on me, like we're married to liars. So I want to play this one last song, and then I'll hit that chauffeur, and we can jump right into the study. Oh, and by the way, you might want to have some tissues or something next to you. Like, because this is going to be one where I know I'm not going to be able to hold back tears. I know this for a fact. And I don't know, crybabies like myself and Frankie and Adam Soto and Jeremy, James Green, the usual suspects. The only one that's not a crybaby is Robin. She's probably like the more masculine out of all of us. Love you, sis. I'll rock you up. Hold on, wait. Hold on. Shots fired.
Time to tell the truth about the lies they've been feeding since our youth. Like a cheating spouse who won't come clean. Government lies are the worst I've seen. If your woman lied like Uncle Sam, you'd pack your bags and say yes, ma'am. But we stay married to these liars in suits while they steal our heritage and our roots. We the assembly, let's go. Down in Georgia where my granddaddy was born, they told us we were slaves since early morn. But that 1747 map shows clear, Kingdom of Judah was already here. Emmanuel born Drew with 29 years. Before this nation brought us blood and tears. They knew the truth, but kept it locked away. Like a cheating husband hiding his pay. CIA got Bible files classified. Adam and Eve story, 47 years they lied. Sanitized copy, what you trying to hide? Like finding lipstick on your husband's collar inside. Don't believe me, fact check me. We're married to liars, can't you see? Got the papers, but we still believe. Like a woman staying with a cheating man. We trust the government's lying plan. Play They pray to Bel while they do their search for meaning and traditions that ain't from above. Christmas trees and Easter that ain't Yahuwah's love. Hosea 2:16 says, call me not Polly, but they keep using names that make him unhappy. Like a wife who calls her husband by her ex's name, playing with fire in a dangerous game. MLK filed 60 years, they hid 230,000 pages of what they did. Surveillance and lies, that's their way. But we act surprised when the truth sees day. Drop a hallelujah in the comments, please.
Liquid assets, cash flow like a stream. Banking language from a maritime dream. Birth certificate made us cargo on a ship. Admiralty courts got us in their grip. Like a husband who controls the family money, keeps his wife dependent. Ain't that funny? They got us thinking we're free as can be, while maritime law controls you and me. JFK files released 2025. Trump said family leads deserve truth to survive, but transparency's bargain, not a right. They negotiate what comes to light.
We married to liars, but now we know. Got the evidence, time to let them go. Like a woman finding strength to leave, we're breaking free from the make-believe. Pledge to the flag with your hand on your chest. That's our only tree, failing Yahuwah's test. We the assembly knows the way. Country folks awakening today. Don't believe me? Fact check me. If your spouse lies like the government does, you be gone before you knew what was. But we stay married to systematic lies, while the truth is right before our eyes. Down home wisdom says actions speak loud. Time to break free from this lying crowd. Yahuwah's people, country strong. We've been married to liars way too long. We the assembly, country and proud, speaking truth to the lying crowd. From the holler to the city street, making Babylon's defeat complete. We the assembly. Let's go.
Barak Yahuwah. Woo! Man, Barak Yahuwah. Every time I hit that show first, Sherry, you be in my head, sis. You be in my head, Barak Yahuwah. Today, Miss Paka, is gonna be a real deep one. You're gonna get a peek into, not a peek. The door is wide open into our family bloodline. Earlier, I mentioned baby girl, my mother. It's so interesting, Miss Paka. Can I encourage you, if you have someone who has been around close enough to the slavery times, or just the oldest person, not my mama ain't old, she's young at heart, but older generations is what I'm saying. Take some time to spend with them. Ask them questions. First off, spend some time with them. All right. The next thing, ask them about things that they're willing to talk about as far as back as they think. Ask them about their childhood. Ask them about your family members. Because listening to her speak I get mesmerized on her stories, like things that I never thought that my mom went through and experienced is just powerful. And I've learned so much from her, especially when it comes to nature. What's interesting is when we do our study today, when we really start digging in, you're going to realize our ancestors, they knew everything about outside. They knew the earth. And it's so interesting. It, like, my mom has that in her. Gardens, like the way she takes care of this property. And then when I started studying our history and then knowing more about slavery, I can't help but think it kind of makes sense. It was kind of like passed down to her through just, you get what I'm saying? So take some time to spend with those people that you probably don't speak too much in your family, even if it's not your family. If there's a neighbor or something, you know what? Hold on, BARAK YAHUAH, Maryland, Preston, can you highlight him real quick? Shalom, Aki. I caught one of your songs. Nice. That's all I just want to tell you. I like you a lot. That's it. Thank you, Marilyn. Preston, you got Luca, Adam Soto, Dual Main, you got the Phelps family. My Aki Frankie. They put out some heat, y'all. Some heat coming from the Mishpaka. We the Assembly ain't the only one dropping some music for everybody to enjoy. There's gonna be some more people within our Mishpaka that's gonna be dropping some praise and worship music for Yahuwah, and all of them got their own vibes going on. So I just wanted to show them a little bit of love, and let y'all know that We the Assembly is supporting all of them, and we gonna back them 100%. We love y'all. So get ready. There's going to be way more music coming down the pipeline from our whole family. Our Mishpaka. So BARAK YAHUAH for finally waking a lot of us up and then inspiring us to be able to create some music for the Mishpaka, because we've lost music. When you come into the truth, you're going to look at secular music and you'll be like, I'm good. And I have to be honest with y'all, for all the new people coming in, you're going to catch this and you're going to switch over quick. It's just because the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncé's ain't going to do it for you no more. You're going to be disgusted by it, all of it, right? But you get actually something we did not get. We legit it was like a dark period with no type of music. So we all stepped in and started doing it. There's other people out there. I'm just talking about people that I've been talking to lately. That, of course, we know there's plenty of people in the Yahuwah space that's making music. So I'm not taking nothing away from them. I'm just talking about the ones that I've been chatting with lately. So I just wanted to show them a little bit of love before we get going. Mishpaka! Make sure today you have your books. We're going to be in one of the Apocrypha books today. We're also going to be in Deuteronomy chapter 28. We're going to actually study that first. So we will be in the book. Oh, and yes, and we got some other things we're going to be doing involving AI. So we're going to use AI as a tool. If you're against AI, don't check out yet. And I'm going to let you know that we're in the book. You can't act like we're not. You can't turn a blind eye. We've always been in the book. I'm just throwing it out there. That's all. But Mishpaka, we're going to be definitely in the book. So make sure you have your books. Drop whatever books, your versions you're using for all the new Mishpaka. Let's show them it's not about the version. It's about the storyline. Some Mishpaka are going to turn around and say, yo, I got HalleluYah Scriptures like Elon, or I got a Cepher, or I got YAHUAH Scriptures. They're going to say KJV. It don't matter. Just make sure you have your books. You know what? I'm going to start off with a video. This is going to be a little brief overview to set the tone, and then we'll open up the book and we get studying. Let me see here. Let me take this down. Man, today is going to be so lit. I can't wait to really start digging in. We just believe. Let's go. I'm sorry, it's just stuck in my head. All right, my bad. Here we go. All right, bang.
We operate on a single baseline. We operate on a single baseline. Scripture is a legal document. It is a binding contract with enforceable clauses. It is not a collection of religious suggestions. Today, we enter the Hannon Bloodline Archive into evidence. This dataset was compiled by Alon Townsend. He serves as the system's architect. The subjects of this audit are specific. We are tracking Betty Townsend and her parents, Ernest Hannon and Tiny Brown. We are taking a 3,400-year-old text and laying it over 200 years of family documentation. The audit reveals an undeniable historical match. The Hannon and Brown bloodlines enter the record in the late 1700s. Men arrived on ships to the coastal region of Sierra Leone and Liberia. This map was drawn in 1747 by Emmanuel Bowen. He was a royal cartographer. He labeled this exact coastal region the Kingdom of Judah. The people living in that territory were taken by force. They were loaded onto ships and transported to the slave ports of South Carolina and Georgia. Deuteronomy 28 verse 68 dictates a return to captivity by ships. The middle passage was the physical execution of that exact clause. The operation moved to the Butler Island rice plantations in Georgia. Major Pierce Butler was the architect of this wealth extraction system. On March 2 and 3 of 1859, Pierce Mies Butler sold 436 people at a racetrack. This event caused the absolute fragmentation of family units. Mary Hosley was sold as a child into Louisiana. She was taken away from her parents. She could never remember her own age or her exact origin. This matches the loss of children detailed in Deuteronomy 28 verse 32. It is the physical manifestation of the iron yoke from verse 48. We audit the structural erasure of identity next. Look at the 1870 and 1880 census records for John and Nancy Hannon in Ward 4 of Union Parish, Louisiana. This shows a systemic erasure. The government recorded their name in 6 different ways across 40 years: Hanman, Hannon, Harmon, Hannon, Juanan, and Hannon. The ledger shifts his race classification across different decades. John Hannon goes from colored to black to mulatto. This is not a bureaucratic error. The blotting out of names is a documented legal outcome for a people given into the hands of other nations. The next audit parameter is the scattering clause of Deuteronomy 28 verse 64. The second generation of Hannon children fragmented out of Louisiana. They moved along the routes of the Great Migration. This map shows data from the Social Security Death Index. The index is a federal database tracking mortality records. It verifies the final scattering. Nehemiah died in Louisiana, Arizona in Illinois, Shelby in Michigan, Harrison Jr. in California. This is Deuteronomy 28 rendered in zip codes. The prophecy reached across modern geography. The system applied massive pressure. But Harrison Hannon Sr. stayed in Louisiana and built a 120-acre estate. He was a lone father. He raised 7 children from 2 deceased wives. He refused to let the family unit scatter. Ernest and Tiny Hannon unified 2 West African bloodlines in Union Parish. Together, they raised 11 children. The family survived. The legal curses were executed, but the seed was structurally preserved for a future restoration. The audit is clear. Every geographic, bureaucratic, and genealogical data point in the Hannon Archive aligns with the ancient text. The restoration of the Mishpachah begins here. We must acknowledge this identity and return to the covenant of YAHUAH. Now you must audit your own records. If the prophecy is real for the Hannon family, then what are we doing with our own history? Either it is in the text or it is not. The audit is complete. Do the work.
Mishpachah, that is a brief overview of what we're going to go over today. But when I tell you, it's going to get really deep, and it's going to get deep really fast. But before we get into all of that story, I feel the need that we need to get into the book first so you can understand exactly what you're going to hear from our bloodline. This is not information that was put together quickly. This information was gathered by one of my aunts in the past. My mom preserved the stories and I pretty much interviewed her. That was one of the stages I did. The next stage, what I did was, and this was as of recent, I used AIs. I took all the documentation, and what happened was that AI started digging in deeper into the information, verifying the census reports, verifying everything, and then finding little pieces. And the story just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There's going to be some crazy stories that I never knew that was even there yet. But because of baby girl and the help of AI, we were able to trace back way more information than what my aunt had gathered. So I'm really in Palal that, Palal means pray, by the way, for all the new Mishpaka, that our family bloodline inspires somebody. And later on, we'll talk about ways you might be able to find out your bloodline. And I'm gonna let you know, I don't have all the answers. The main goal is to inspire you to go try to look. That's what I'm going to do today when it comes to that piece. But also, I want to show you the connection between slavery and in scriptures. So if everybody can meet me at Deuteronomy chapter 28, we're going to start at verse 13. Verse 13. No. Yes, we'll start at verse 13. So let me know in the comments when you're there. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is going to be a deep one. So before we get started, while everybody's going to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 13, I wanted to show you my grandparents. And I have to tell y'all, I already brought my father and my grandmother to life in imagery when my mom saw my grandpa like in color. And I used this sketch drawing of him. This is Ernest. Ernest was also known as Tenzi. They called him Tenzi. My grandfather was very special. There was something about him that apparently during that time, my mom told me that my grandfather would be able to like heal people. Y'all, I don't know the other way to say it. And I think my mom will be okay with me saying this. You know how Yahuwah said that our people forsake him? And he kicked everybody out the land. He exiled the people. And this is all part of the curse, which is what you're about to hear. Well, I'm just going to shoot you straight. There was something about Grandpa that kept drawing me in a long time ago. I'll go another day sharing that story in detail, but I really want to get to the really heart of everything right now. But my mom described Grandpa, I don't know what other way to say this, but based on her stories, I don't think Grandpa was calling on Yahuwah. But Grandpa knew how to do things that was passed on from the generations that got booted out. I'm just shooting you straight. And apparently Grandpa was known for these things. So this is Ernest, and they called him Tenzi. And this is my beautiful grandmother. This is Tiny. And I can't wait to bring that back to life because there's going to be some music videos and they're going to be smiling and they're going to be moving again. And I'm mainly doing that for baby girl so she can see Grandpa smile again and Grandma smile again. That right there just does something to my heart. So I can't wait to do that for her. BARAK YAHUAH. Miss Parker, let's get to the book. Did I hit that? Marilyn, did I do that? I was trying to, I don't know if I put, I'm going to keep going. All right. But verse 13, let's get it. And Yahuwah shall make you the head and not the tail. And you shall be only on the top and not be beneath. If you obey the commands of Yahuwah, your ALUAH, which I command you to command you today to guard and do. Now, Mishpaka, the reason why we started off at 13, I want you to take some time on your own to study 1 through 12. Okay, so 1 through 13 is pretty much the blessings. Yahuwah is saying, hey, if you do what I ask you to do, you do the things that I say and not the other nations. These are the good things that are going to happen for you. And then he turns around and he says, but if you don't do what I tell you to do, if you don't want to follow my ways, if you don't want to follow my laws and my commands, this is going to be your curses. Mishpaka, every single last one of these happened. And by the way, Deuteronomy is the conversation. Deuteronomy 28 is part of the conversation with Yahuwah and Moses on Mount Sinai. Moses is being told what's going to happen in the future. This is prophecy. Verse 14. And do not turn aside from any of the words which I am commanding you today, right or left, to go after other mighty ones to serve them. And it shall be, if you do not obey the voice of Yahuwah, your ALUAH, to guard, to do all his commands and his laws, which I command you today, that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Verse 16. Cursed are you in the city. Cursed are you in the field. Really listen to this. 17. Cursed is your basket and your kneading bowl. 18. Cursed is the fruit of your body and the fruit of your land, the increase of your cattle and the offspring of your flock. Cursed are you when you come in, and cursed are you when you go out. Yahuwah sends on you the curse, the confusion. I got to slow down right there. Mishpaka, does Yahuwah lie or does he not? I don't know, because it seems like the world seems to think that they're not in confusion. I believe him. Yeah, I mean, I'm watching everybody. They're completely confused. This is very apparent that the African-American people got kicked out of his land. All right, they got kicked out of his land and he confused everybody. Look at us. But it's not just them. It's not just us. The whole world's confused now. And this isn't the only spot that this is said. This is said in 2 Thessalonians. There's another witness. This is also said in 2 Ezra, which we're going to be hopping into maybe today as well. He actually put us in confusion. And for the people who say, well, God is not the author of confusion. All right, well, first off, do me a favor. Can you please stop quoting Paul? Get off Paul's balls. Like, this getting old. You're reading out of context. You know what Paul was talking about in that part? I just got to deal with you real quick, because you seem to not listen to your creator. You rather listen to Paul than your creator, but then you misquote Paul. What's happening in that moment when Paul says that Yahuwah, it's not G-O-D, is not the author of confusion? In that moment, if you study the entire book instead of cherry picking that one verse and using it as a slogan to keep yourself in the delusion, you'll notice that they were bickering. None of them were on the same page. Kind of like today's time. A modern day Corinthian, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He was telling everybody, it needs order if we're going to talk. He's saying Yahuwah is not the author of confusion. All of you guys are confusing everything. That's what he was saying. So if you didn't know that, and if you don't know, now you know. Let's go back. 20. And Yahuwah sends on you the curse, the confusion, and the rebuke, and all that you put in your hands to do, until you are destroyed, and until you perish quickly. It sounds like it's kind of hot right now, right? He doesn't seem too pleased with them. And I don't think he's pleased with us either, because there's some similar things going on. Because of the evil of your doings, by which you have forsaken me. So when he talks like that, and I see these connections, I can't help but think like, yo, all right, whatever is ticking him off, I got to stay far away from those type of things. And I'm in Palal, you kind of thinking the same thing. Verse 21, Yahuwah makes the plague cling to you until he has consumed you from the land which you are going to possess. So he's like, yo, I'm gonna keep going. That makes sense. 22, Yahuwah smites you with wasting disease, and with inflammation, and with burning, and with extreme heat, and with sword, and with blight, and with mildew, and they shall pursue you until you perish. Yo, this is gonna hit hard when we get deep into like y'all. We 23. And your shamayim, that's heavens plural, which are over your head shall be bronze, and the earth which is under you iron. Okay, what did Yahuwah just say? That's a cage. He said your heaven above you is going to be bronze, and beneath you is going to be iron. He's saying you're going to be in a cage. 24, Yahuwah makes the rain of your land powder and dust. From the Shamayim, it comes down on you until you are destroyed. Yahuwah causes you to be defeated before your enemies. And before your enemies, you go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. And you shall become a horror to all the reigns of the earth. 26, and your carcass shall be food for the birds of the Shamayim and the beasts of the earth, which no one to frighten them away. Yahuwah, this verse 27, Yahuwah shall smite you with the boils of Metzarim, that's Egypt, with tremors, with the scab, with the itch, from which you are unable to be healed. 28. Yahuwah shall smite you with madness, with blindness, which we are definitely blind, and bewilderment of heart. 29. And you shall be groping at noon as a blind man gropes in darkness, and not prosper in your ways. Hits so hard. That hits so hard. If we really paying attention, black folk, wake up. And you shall be only oppressed and plundered all the days, with no one to save you. Wait. I can't help but think about the Hebrew Israelites, the ones that be all angry all the time, yelling at people. I can't help but think about the people like Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Power this, Black on business. Look, yo, he telling you right there, if you knew who you was, wake up. If you, I'm sorry. What? That's the second time I said that, and it was like, he was like, it's okay, it's Shabbat. It's Shabbat. Take a detour real quick. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not stopping. Hold on. Let me mark my spot. Yo, y'all drop. I forgot my number real quick. Where was I? Bewilderment, the groping, noonday, 29? We had 29. I'm going to read 29 again. Noonday. Yeah. Wait. Engage. We're gonna get back at 29. All right. Man. All right. I gotta do it. I can't help myself. I just can't help myself. Come on, hit the button, dude. Hit the button right. BARAK, YAHUAH.
Mm-hmm. 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 Let my people go. Now Revelation chapter 2, verse 9 says it plain. They say they're Jews, but they're not. That's the refrain. Synagogue of Satan, that's what the good book calls. While the real one's scattered, just like the songs told. Deuteronomy chapter 28 describes our people's fate scattered among nations, carried through the gate, ships to Egypt again. Verse 68 clear. Transatlantic slavery, prophecy here. Don't believe me, fact check me. Read it for yourself. While they had a story on a dusty shelf. Let my people go. Cotton rolls, iron chains, ships on the tide. Verse 68 been walking with us our whole life. Sold again, scatter wide, just like it wrote. Not folklore, not theory, that's a documented road. Names taken, language banned, stories rearranged. Told us who we weren't, then blamed us for the change. From fields to sales, from wheels to screens. Same pressure system, just polished and clean. Don't trust the teller, fact checkers. They called it coincidence, said that's the past. But the chapter's still open, still moving that fast. Byword, proverb, mock the name, still carrying weight. We never claimed. Different century, same design. Still losing ground when we lose the line. This ain't ancient history buried in dust. This is right now if we're honest with us. Let my people go. 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 Freedom louder than chains when it's real. Silence tell you what you still feel. You can break the locks and still stay bound if the truth never really touched down. Awakening don't start with a shout. Start when excuses run out. When the books stop being decoration and start being confrontation.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither YAHUAH shall lead thee. Negro colored are the other two N-words, the rhyme with trigger and trigger.
Deuteronomy 28,
verse 37. Your Hebrews, black folk, you're the descendants in the book, wake up! If the warning landed clean and true.
Yo, I just had to hear that part. That's all. Apparently, Sherry the last live when I played Grace ain't a loophole. She dropped the audio inside the admin chat. She was like, "Hey, Lon, I thought Kendra was mad at you because you played half the song and you stopped this short." If y'all want to listen to that song, we'll probably play it again a little later. Let's get back to the study. I just need to hear that part. Descendants in the book. Wake up, black boat. 29. And you shall be groping at noon as a blind man gropes in darkness, and not prosper in your ways. And you shall be only oppressed and plundered all the days with no one to save you. 30. You become engaged to a wife, but another man lies with her. That story is in this study today. We'll be covering that. But another man lies with her. But you build a house, but do not dwell in it. Ooh, this is landing. This is hitting. You plant a vineyard, but do not use its fruits. Woo, this study is going to hit. Your ox is slaughtered before your eyes, but you do not eat of it. Your donkey is violently taken from before you, and it is not given back to you. Your sheep are, my bad, I'm sorry about that. Your sheep are given to your enemies with no one to save them. First off, do y'all realize that Yahuwah is pretty much giving the bad guys, you know what I'm saying? The go ahead, like they, you know what I'm saying? They like Yahuwah said, like, yo, y'all get the reins right now. You know what I'm saying? Bad guys. Verse 23, 33. Your sons. I'm sure y'all heard that, right? BARAK YAHUAH. Your sons and your daughters are given to another people. Miss Paka, this is in this book. This is in the story. You're going to see it in real time. And your eyes look and fail for them all the day long, and your hands powerless. Write that verse down. Deuteronomy 28, verse 32. Write that down. If you're taking notes, write it down. Mark it. It's going to hit. It's going to hit like bricks today. 33. A people whom you have not known eat the fruit of your land and and all your labors, and you shall be only oppressed and crushed all the days. And you shall be maddened because of the sight which your eyes see. Verse 35. Yahuwah smites you in the knees and on the legs with evil boils, of which you are unable to be healed. And from the soles of your feet, the soles of your foot to the top of your head. 36. Yahuwah brings you and the sovereigns whom you appoint over you to a nation which neither you nor your fathers have known, and there you shall serve other mighty ones, wood and stone. Yahuwah, why when I read that you told me it's like once I read it, it was like Yahuwah, I cannot make this up. As soon as I read it, as I was reading it, it was like Yahuwah was telling me, make a song on that, and I want you to put that in the hook exactly as is. Y'all make sure y'all write that down on your notes, because it's gonna come up. But I gotta make sure I take these notes. Deuteronomy 23 song hook. BARAK YAHUAH. Baby girl gonna be like, that's my song. No, you can't have two. She can have two if she wants. Thus you shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a mockery among all the peoples to which Yahuwah drives you. And it's crazy because we turned ourselves into a mockery and a proverb, and then get mad at other people. You can't insult us. Only we can insult ourselves. You can't say, what's up, my nigga? You'll be out of line. Only the foolish people. Yo, black folk, you foolish. Stop saying that. Stop making it a thing. You have no idea what you're doing. If you are new to the profile, first off, welcome in BARAK YAHUAH that you are here. But if you are a brother and sister and the N-word seems to be a casual thing coming out of your mouth, let me give you a little bit of history that you're going to learn today. Your people were taken from a land called Negro land and brought to America by Europeans. And this story is sitting right in front of your face. So during that time frame, what did they call them? Negroes. They called them Negroes. And then it transformed to something else. And now you get mad. Can I get nigga in the comments, please? You can put it in the comments, please. But BARAK YAHUAH, you a nigga. If you're brave enough to do it, it's okay. That's how we get down. And it is, look, this is my face. This is my likeness for this profile, repping Yahuwah. So any black person got a problem with anybody saying BARAK YAHUAH, nigga, that's your problem, not theirs. The Nubian's pocket like, hold up. What type of study is this? Welcome to the assembly. We don't play. We don't sugarcoat. We don't do that churchy stuff over here. We keep it real. Let's keep going. I wonder how many people say, I bet you Adam Soto dropping it. Some of y'all scared to do it. Robin, Cray, drop it, sis. I got your back. Y'all don't have to do that. But it'd be funny if you do. I'm just saying. Let's keep going. Bet your baby girl laughing up in that room right now. I know she watching. 38. You take much seed out. Wait, did I? Yeah. You take much seed out into the field, but gather little in for the locust to consume. 39. You plant vineyards and shall labor, but you neither drink of the wine nor gather, for the worms eat it. Yo, this is thick. I'm telling you, this stuff all happened. Slave trades, and you cannot match it up with the Middle Eastern. You cannot match it up with Revelation 2939 people. It doesn't fit these people. I'm sorry, it just doesn't fit these people. Like none of this book fits.
Revelation 2:9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
And that was Revelation 2:9, but wait, he doubled down.
Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
This chapter doesn't even line up with none of that Revelation 2:9, 3:9, whatever it is. 40, let's go. You have olive trees in your border. Y'all go look into, like, look how Yahuwah says this. I want you to pay attention to how he says this. Okay. He ain't just talking to them. Can you pay attention a little differently? He's talking to you too. He's letting you know. Listen to how this says. Let me see how many of y'all gonna pick this up. You have olive trees in all your borders, but do not anoint with oil. Yahuwah is documenting history. He's legit telling us in the future the actual land where this happened has olive trees in their border. You can match that up with Africa. He's telling you so much more. And the church taught us to look at the book just like a little verse. Did that land? I don't know if that hit. To me, it's deeper. We just read past that stuff and not realize he's talking about lands. He's talking about resources. He's actually saying, hey, he's mapping out and subtly telling us, if you're paying attention, you'll figure it out where the land is, because I'm giving you landmarks. I'm giving you all these little things just to know who you are. And I'm gonna take your identity away from you because you guys are so bad. Man. But do not anoint with oil, for your olives drop off. You bring forth sons and daughters, but they do not with you, for they go into captivity. 42. Locust possesses all your trees and your fruits of the ground. 43. The sojourner who is among you rises higher and higher above you, but you become down lower and lower. For all the people that's yelling out or have yelled out Black Lives Matter and Black Power this and Black Power that, is any of this making sense now? And that's your murmuring. He don't like murmuring. You're actually in a curse. So complaining is useless. What he's actually wanting you to do is open up the book, see what our ancestors had did, and he's actually wanting us to confess the sins of our forefathers and confess our own sins. And yes, you owe him a confession. You did not know you've been serving other gods this entire time. You followed the steps of your ancestors. This is in the book. I'm telling you, he wants a mass confession. A lot of us are waking up, and in the end times, he says that you will. There's going to be much more of you. I'm telling you, there's going to be more and more waking up and realizing, wait a minute, hold up. You telling me those people over here talking about Yahuwah stuff, they not the crazy ones? We've been the crazy ones the entire time. Yeah, there's going to be a moment where that's going to hit them. That's going to hit them. That's going to hit them hard like. Let's keep going. He leads you, he lends to you, but you do not lend to him. Sound kind of familiar? We have systems like that today. They're lending to us. They're lending to us, and we don't get nothing out of it. Like, there's no. Is that making sense? I don't know. Anyways, let's keep going. He is the head, and you are the tail. So while we complaining that we are pretty much getting jack, and they've been playing us with two colors back and forth for centuries, they've been playing us like Boo the Fool, and we never picked up on it. Like, it's in the book. They had permission to run us through the mud the way they doing and deceive us. But here's the beautiful thing. He says in the end times, we're gonna start waking up like we are now. And I'm just gonna let y'all know in advance. The whole thing, like, at one point he wants us to stand our ground and say no more. It's pretty much not. No, that's not saying I didn't say the book says go tear up the place. I didn't say that. He wants us to say no, we're not doing it anymore. We're standing up to you and saying no. That's what he wants. He wants us to choose him. We choose Yahuwah, not you. You not. I tried to say. I tried to mumble it. I'm gonna say it. Not you. USA. Israel. No, I'm doing that to protect the algorithm because they like to suppress certain things. But let's keep going. Let's see here. Where are we at? 45. And all these curses shall come upon you, and they shall pursue and overtake you until you are destroyed, because you did not obey the voice of Yahuwah, your ALUAH, to guard his commands and his laws, which he commanded you. And they shall be among you for a sign and for a wonder, and on your seed forever. Yo, this is hitting differently for me today. I don't know. Because you did not serve Yahuwah your ALUAH with joy and gladness of heart for all the plenty. You shall serve your enemies whom Yahuwah sends against you. Yo, that's where we at right now. We serving our enemies. You serving our enemies. But here's the beautiful part. Everything started going crazy. Why? Because the curse is up and the enemy knows it. They know this. Don't think that these government people are blind to this book. They know what's going on. These elites believe more in this book and the truth more than we do. Why? Because they've been controlling the narrative, legit playing this bad boy out under the control of Yahuwah. Yahuwah is making them do. They think that they're moving on their own. They ain't moving on their own. They being influenced by Yahuwah. All these moves is calculated. Yahuwah is showing us that he is in control, and he's been whipping our butts this entire time while we've been calling out of his name, not focused on his ways, doing other things to other nations, and completely deceived. BARAK Yahuwah. And they shall be, oh my bad, I read that part. Where was I? And you shall serve your enemies whom Yahuwah sends against you in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in need of all, and he shall put a yoke of iron on your neck until he is destroyed. Write that down. It's going to come up today. It's going to come up today. Yahuwah brings a nation against you from afar. European nations, hint, hint. No hint, hint. European nations, wake up. From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies, a nation's whose language you shall not understand. Write that one down. Write down, if you're taking notes, 48 and 49 will be coming up today in a deeper way in our study. You're gonna listen to the story happen in real time. Verse 50, a fierce looking nation which shows no regard for the elderly, nor shows favor for the young. Well, if they came in and did that in the beginning, they're just quietly doing it differently in today's time. 51, and they shall eat the fruit of your livestock and the fruit of your land until you are destroyed. They leave you no gain, no new wine, nor oil, nor the increase of your cattle, or the offspring of your flock, until they have destroyed you. And they shall besiege you at your gates. You know, I don't know why. Like, as I'm reading that, like, it's like Yahuwah. Can I just share a little small detour? It makes sense. Okay, so in today's time, they are called Jews in Israel, in Judah. I've said this before. But if that's not the original name, it's almost like Yahuwah was like, I don't know, subtly telling me like if you don't focus on them and focus on the actual real names, like they can't mess with the algorithm. They're trying to block those other words. They're not trying to block Yahudah. They're not trying to block Yasharal, because to them the world doesn't even know it exists. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud, I guess. I don't know if that landed with y'all. Where am I? 52. 52. I'll just start there. And they shall besiege you at your gates until wait. I'm at 52. I'm at 52. I'll just start there. And they shall besiege you at all your gates till your high and fenced walls, in which you are trusting come down in all your land, and they shall besiege you at all your gates in all your land which Yahuwah your ALUAH has given you. 53. And you shall eat the fruit of your own body, the flesh of your sons and your daughters, whom Yahuwah your ALUAH has given you, in siege and distress in which your enemies distress you. The man among you who is tender and who is very delicate, his eye is evil against his brother, against the wife of his bosom, and against the rest of his children whom he leaves behind, against giving any of them. This part's really hard to read. Like, can you wrap your head around that? Like, during those time frames, like, they are betraying each left and right. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, it's deep. It's very deep. And Yahuwah is just showing like you want to go to distance, I'll go to distance too. And it's not like he's making them doing it. He's pretty much saying like you're gonna be in so much stress, it's in your heart to do that anyways. Did that make sense? Against giving any of them to the flesh of his children that he eats, because it is all that has been left to him in the siege and distress with which your enemies distresses you in all your gates. 56. The tender and the delicate woman among you, whom have not tried to put the sole of her foot on the ground because of her delicateness and tenderness, her eye is evil against her husband of her bosom, and against her son, and against her daughter, and against her seed which comes out from beneath her legs, between her legs, and her children whom she bears, for she eats them in secret for lack of all, in the siege and distress, in distress with which your enemies distresses you in all your gates. 58. That is crazy. If you do not guard and do all the words of this Torah that are written in this book to revere this esteemed and awesome name, Yahuwah. Yo, 58 slipped right over my head. I didn't know it was worded like that. Every time I catch a name verse, I can't help but think like, yo, that's another thing. Listen, he said, and the awesome name. I don't know what your version say. Drop in the comments what yours say. Does yours say awesome? The HalleluYah Scriptures does plain speak. I could open up these other two, but we're just gonna keep going. He just emphasized his name's important to him. BARAK YAHUAH. 59. Yo, that just hit me in real time. That went over my head to that moment. Then Yahuwah shall bring upon you and your descendants extraordinary plagues, great and lasting plagues, and grievous and lasting sicknesses. And he shall bring back on you all the diseases of Metzarim, Egypt, of which you were afraid, and they shall cling to you. Verse 61. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this Torah, Yahuwah brings upon you until you are destroyed. 62. And you shall be left with few men, although you had become as numerous as the stars of the Shamaim, because you did not obey the voice of Yahuwah, your ALUAH. And it shall be that as Yahuwah rejoiced over you to do good and increase. So he's saying, yo, I was rooting for you. Then he turns around and says, what? So Yahuwah rejoices over you to destroy you and lay you waste, and you shall be plucked from off the. Woo, you shall be plucked. Write that down. That's another situation. Why, Yahuwah? I've been back and forth through this book. Why am I catching new things, Yahuwah? This is amazing. I'm catching like new things right in front of everybody. Like you legit saying, like, I'm kicking you out the land. That's what we've been talking about lately. Man, Yahuwah, it's like you legit, it's like he gives it to you in stages, Miss Paka. Y'all, I've studied this chapter how many times in front? How many people see me study this chapter and read this chapter over and over and over? Why am I just now catching that verse said it like that? BARAK YAHUAH. Listen to this. This is important. That verse is bigger than you think. He's literally saying, I'm exiling you where my name dwells. Everybody who's doing Passover and talking about Happy New Year, you better start paying attention, Miss Paka. And you shall be plucked from the land which you go to possess. And Yahuwah shall scatter you among all peoples from the one end of the earth to the other. And there you shall serve other mighty ones. JC, GOD, LORD. If you are new, I'm going to read this again. I want you to pay attention. Listen to this. Verse 64. And Yahuwah shall scatter you among all peoples, from one end to the end of the earth to the other. And there you shall serve their mighty ones, which neither you nor your fathers have known wood and stone.
Four-letter name of a chief Canaanite god means Lord. David, what is Baal? Yes, B-A-A-L.
And among those nations you are to find no rest, nor have a resting place for the soles of your foot. Yo, like melanated brothers and sisters, does that not sound like it's been a thing? Civil rights are leading all the way up to Black Lives Matter. Like I find all of it silly now. Once I realized, like, yo, we in a curse, man. Like, why are we complaining? Like, legit. I mean, we over here saying we believe in God, and not even realize, like, his real name's Yahuwah. And then he also says that, like, yo, you in a curse. You ain't even know who you are. Yeah, it's gonna be sitting right in front of your face. It's gonna go over your head, and you're gonna complain about it. Like you know your creator so much you don't even know that, like, you sitting in a curse complaining about being in a curse. I just find it silly now. Like once your eyes open, it's like you got to start accepting the curse. You got to be like okay with it. You got to be like, okay, you establishing right ruling on us, so we kind of deserve this. Once you switch that vibe of understanding, I'm telling you, things start to change. Like, you don't feel so much pressure in life. You start to feel who are moving with you. It's like, oh, okay, you get it now. You get it. You're in a curse. You deserve everything you're getting. There's no more complaining. And you understand that I'm controlling the whole board, period. I'm controlling the whole board. Whether you believe it or not, I'm controlling the whole board. Like, that's exactly what he's doing. BARAK, YAHUAH, verse 65. Wait. We'll just read. I want to read 64 again. That verse is lit. And Yahuwah shall scatter you among all nations, from one end of the earth to the other, and there you shall serve their God, their mighty ones, other mighty ones. JC, and if y'all don't know who JC is, that's Jesus, God. Yeah, those fallen angels, man. You got to do your homework, man. Y'all got to get out your feelings and actually look this stuff up, man. The book says it's strangeness to your ears. So if you feeling some type of way, we asking you to take a look at this stuff. This stuff makes more sense than the church has ever given us. Which neither you nor your fathers have known, wood and stone. 65. And among those nations you are to find no rest, nor have a resting place for the sole of your feet. But there Yahuwah shall give you a trembling heart and failing eyes and sorrow of being. 66. And your life shall be hanging in suspense before you, and you shall fear day and night. Man, it sounds so. You can hear it in the past, and you can hear it in the present. Am I the only one that can hear it in the past and hear it in the present? BARAK YAHUAH. Man, yo, I feel like this is lit. The fact that like this gives me more confidence. Like, yo, our creator's real, man. This went down. Like, I believe everything he's saying, man. Everything. Like, to me, this isn't offensive to me. To me, this is eye-opening. Like, if you can believe this, if you see that this is happening, that means everything that he promises you, if you do things right, that means you're good. Like, for example, wars and rumors of wars. If you're afraid of nukes, something wrong, man. That means you ain't connected enough. If you're a person saying, oh, I believe his name's Yahuwah. Yes, I believe who the people are the melanated brothers and sisters. Yes, I believe the whole world's been deceived. Yes, I believe that we calling him out his wrong name. Yes, I believe that those are other gods. And all this stuff is lining up. He has been hitting everything like a domino after domino after domino. So that means when he turns around and says, hey, when tribulation starts in end times, I'm going to protect you. Do you believe him? If you believe that, do you believe that? So if you focused on what's happening in the war, then women the war, And with Mr. Bump, Thump, y'all get what I'm saying. And ALUAH, I'm messing with the words, y'all. Miss Parker, you get, if you knew, like, algorithm protection, like these people waiting for like content that's blasting them out like this. They looking for keywords, and all they need is the system to catch it, to slow it down, right? And Idadel, and it is Ra L. Those are three separate sounds. Just saying, put it together. BARAK, man, the enemy's been sitting right in front of us. BARAK, YAHUAH. Let's go. Where am I at? I'm squirreling everywhere. 66. And your life shall be hanging in suspense before you. I think I read that one. I will read it again. Hanging in suspense before you, and you shall fear day and night, and not be certain of your life. Woo! In the morning you shall say, "Oh, that it were evening." And at evening you would say, "Oh, that it were morning," because of the fear of your heart, with which you fear, and because of the sight which your eyes see. 68. And Yahuwah shall bring you back to Metzrim, that's Egypt, back to Egypt in ships, back to Egypt in ships.
Is that in that new building off the side?
That's in Memphis, actually.
It's in Memphis?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where you were?
Yeah.
I see.
Memphis, the capital of ancient Egypt.
Right. Yeah, you're bringing what?
Perhaps that's where our new God will come from.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, I wish that was funny.
You know, if you believe they put stuff right in front of your face, you know, they like legit. If you're a person that says like they put it in front of your face, like they hide it in plain sight. One more time for you, please.
Is that in that new building off the side?
That's in Memphis, actually.
It's in Memphis?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where you were?
Yeah.
I see.
Memphis, the capital of ancient Egypt.
Right. Yeah, you're bringing what?
Perhaps that's where our new God will come from.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, I wish that was funny.
Yeah, I wish that was funny. And Yahuwah shall bring you back to Egypt in ships. Oh, by the way, Memphis, Tennessee is actually documented as a capital. America, you're sitting in Egypt. Yes, I know you're probably confused. Like, how is that possible? Yo, we did a whole study on this. They changed your maps straight up. Like, that's a whole nother study. I can't even explain it in the comments. So if you're a person that's like, I don't believe that, and if you're a person that says, well, we were already here. Yes, we actually agree. Y'all be having selective hearing. Listen, if you're paying attention to the book and you say that you believe in the book, was Abraham going back and forth to Egypt? Right? Abraham was going back and forth to Egypt. A bunch of people were going back and forth to Egypt. You don't think, if I'm telling you that America was Egypt, you don't think that they set up shop in Egypt and parked, and you don't think that some of their seed got spread out? The American Indians weren't the only ones here. They just not telling you that we were already here. We were in both locations. We were already boots on the ground here, and we were in Africa. And if you're thinking like, well, what about the other Egypt? I'm telling you, you got to do your homework. You need Enoch. You need a bunch of books to put this together. Then you got to hop out the books. Then you got to go look at maps between the 1500s and 1600s. Look inside Princeton. Princeton has some maps hidden in their archives. Cambridge has some maps hidden in their archives, along with there's some compasses that we found, and also Ferdinand Magellan had something to do with some of the research we found. And then you got Library of Congress, which we're going to be talking about them today. Got Emmanuel Bowen's map hitting into it. Then you got David Rumsey map, got some stuff hidden into it. When you take all these maps and all the hidden maps that they tucked away, then you take all the book, include Enoch, what Enoch says, you'll find out that the way they told us, the way this place looks is not the same. And then you turn around, and how do you do this? You're going to need AI to help you figure this out. There's no way you're going to be able to find one map sitting in them 6 million hidden maps. AI is designed to help us during this time frame. And yes, AI is also, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna be straight with y'all. Like I've said this before, whether you believe it or not. AI critics, you might this is a win for you, but it's still a loss if you're not paying attention. I do believe that AI will be the thing that's going to be hunting us in tribulation. I ain't gonna lie. Yes. Why? You need to look into the little horn, and believe it or not, I am going to be doing a study on Daniel chapter 2. Because legit, the pastors have been teaching sideline that our enemy's been sitting in front of us the entire time, and they've been doing motivational speeches, and we so ignorant to realize, like, wait a minute. He just named all the nations that are going to be all the way to end times and what they're going to do. And then we take a look at our society and we just sitting in it like it's not there. Like legit, he already told us who the bad guys are. Like for real. It's in Daniel chapter 2. But when you when you add in Daniel 7, it talks about the little horn. When you look at the little horn and you start to really think about it, it is AI. The little horn is AI. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Right now, we have a safe pocket while they're building this little horn. It's supposed to come up in from inside. That is AI. And I'm telling you, yes, AI critics, this is not a full win for you. You better listen to what I'm saying. The little horn is AI, and it will be the thing hunting us. I'm telling you, if you're paying attention in tribulation. But right now, Daniel 12:4 is the goal. The end times. I'm not doing a cross. I don't know why my mind said a box. Daniel 12:4 says that, and I'm paraphrasing, knowledge increases in the end times, that people will be traveling to and fro, which means we have a small pocket before we have to say no more. And we will know when to say we're not doing this. We will know. But until then, I can speak for me and me only. Yahuwah's taught me how to use this, how to study. Notice we ain't touched AI yet. We're in the book, but we can use it to find the secrets, get the information out, wake some people up, and then at one point, we got to say, kick rocks. Time to go to the woods. That's how this works. So all the AI people, you a couple of steps ahead. You need to catch up and come back with us. Y'all tripping. Let's keep going. My bad. I'll read that last one more time. And Yahuwah shall bring you back to Egypt in ships by the way which I send you, and you are never to see it again. And there you shall be sold to your enemies as male and female slaves, but no one to buy. BARAK, Yahuwah. Let me get a sip of water, and then this thing is about to get deep. Y'all might want to get tissues out because it's about to get heavy up in here. Now, this next part, I showed everybody this system that Google created, something called Notebook LM. And that I'm using Notebook to help create these podcasts. No gatekeeping over here. But I want to show you something. We're making behind the scenes in our app a more stout version of what you're about to experience. I decided on this live, we're going to do the interactive experience of this. So is that Jeremy? Is that Jay? No, that's not Jay. That's somebody. Is that Jay? I can't tell. Jeremy be switching his name. I be feeling like he don't hang out with us no more, but I be seeing him in here sometimes. Is that Jeremy? I don't know. Either way, if that's not Jeremy, if it is Jeremy. What up, Jay? What up, Aki? But Miss Paka, matter of fact, hold on. This is going to be a different experience. Some of y'all seen this already, but this time I'm going to interact with these AI hosts a little bit more than I have in the past. Now, real quick, this is called Notebook LM. You guys can get access to this just if you're looking for this. And how you use this is, I'm just going to tell you very simple how to use it. Say, for example, I have a notebook room where I just took nothing but book. Like one of the things I'm just gonna be coming up soon. Like say for example, the book of Enoch. I feed it the book of Enoch. Then I give it instructions to no GODs, no LORDs, none of that stuff, and it locks it all down. Now it can say Yahuwah's name. Well, this one, no book has a problem. It tries to say Yahuwah's name and it gets it right sometimes, but it's not always accurate. So if you do hear Yahuwah's name being spelled wrong, pronounced wrong through this, please overlook that part. It's just something I'm trying to adjust, and I got to figure out how to get it to say it right. That's all. But really focus on this information today, all right? But what you're about to experience, I'm going to interrupt it plenty of times, and I'm going to talk with the host in real time. And this is technology that we have access today, and we're making our own version. Once our app launches, we're going to take all, because the reason why is because we have all of the scriptures. So for example, once we launch our app, which I just have one little hang up, there's this not paywall, it's a sign up wall. I keep getting an error message. It won't let me log in. So I'm trying to figure out how to get past that. But once I get that, then I'm gonna release it. You guys will have scriptures. But what I'm trying to tell you is, so say for example, you had the full book of Enoch in it, right? So you go inside this room, it'll be somewhat like this. And then it'll start to read or talk about Enoch, not read it, but talk about it. And then you can actually interrupt and you can ask questions. And that room is going to be locked down straight to that one book. And for the ones that you think that certain things are a certain way or whatnot, you start asking questions, this, that, and the other, you're going to get humbled real quick. Because then if it's locked with a book, you're going to realize real quick if you've been studying with your own emotions instead of book, because it can't go outside on what it's actually reading. It doesn't think about anything else other than what you tell it. I don't know if that made any sense, but you guys will see. BARAK YAHUAH. Get your tissues ready, because this one's going to be really wild.
Picture this. You're sitting at a table, and right in front of you, you have this massive ancient legal contract.
Right.
You can actually feel the weight of the parchment. It is a blinding document drafted and ratified over 3,400 years ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The stipulations are incredibly precise. The clauses are absolute, and the penalties for breach of contract are severe.
Very severe.
So imagine putting that ancient text down, and right next to it, you open a 19th century federal census ledger from the United States government.
Okay.
You run your finger down the faded, handwritten lines of that ledger, and you realize something that should be, well, statistically and historically impossible.
Yeah.
You find that the exact literal stipulations of that ancient 3,400-year-old contract have been executed point by point upon one specific American family.
It forces a complete paradigm shift. I mean, it really does.
It has to, right?
Exactly. When you look at those two documents side by side, you realize you are no longer reading history as some, series of random, unfortunate events.
Right. It's not just a sad story.
No, not at all. You are reading the forensic documentation of a legal execution. You're looking at an ancient covenant functioning in real time within modern zip codes.
Welcome to this deep dive. Our mission today is an in-depth documentary-style investigation of something called the Hannon Bloodline Archive.
Yes.
We are going to trace one specific family from the coast of West Africa through the harrowing logistical machinery of the domestic slave trade in the American South, all the way to the present generation.
And we really need to be incredibly precise right at the outset about the architect of this research.
Absolutely.
Because this staggering body of evidence was painstakingly compiled by Allen Townsend.
Right. And let me clarify those names for you listening, because identity and precision are the absolute core of what we are discussing today.
They really are.
So Townsend is Aon's last name. Hannon is his mother, Betty's maiden name.
Right.
Allen Townsend is the compiler who organized this history into specific, verifiable documents. For our journey today, document 4 of his archive serves as our primary narrative spine.
Yes, document 4.
It gives us the cinematic chronological movement of this family through time and geography. But document 3 is what provides the lens. Document 3 is a meticulous analysis of Deuteronomy chapter 28.
And in this archive, Deuteronomy 28 is never treated as, abstract theology or ancient poetry.
Right, not at all.
Hey there. Can you share your thoughts on this?
Shalom, shalom. I just wanted to say,
Oh, yeah,
hey, my name is Elon. I'm the one you just mentioned, and we're live on Facebook right now. There's a bunch of people listening to you guys right now. You want to say hey to the Mishpaka?
Well, hello to you.
Oh, wow.
And thank you for chiming in.
Thank you so much for joining us.
It's wonderful that you and so many other listeners are joining us live today.
Yes, we always appreciate you listening in, whether you're catching us live or later on.
We're glad you're here for this deep dive into the Hannon bloodline archive.
We were just touching on the absolute precision of this historical research.
Okay, let's unpack this for everyone listening right now, especially those just joining us.
What's fascinating here is how Elon Townsend used the ancient text.
Yes, so we were saying that document 3 in his archive treats Deuteronomy 28 as not abstract.
Right, it's not abstract theology or ancient poetry, as we were saying.
Not at all.
It's the legal and prophetic framework through which this family's survival is documented.
It's the ancient contract, the 3,400-year-old parchment that we mentioned earlier.
Exactly. It outlines the blessings for obedience to Elia.
And the highly specific, inescapable curses for disobedience, which are documented in U.S. Census records.
Document 3 simply holds the text of Deuteronomy 28 against the historical record.
It doesn't argue or explain, it just lets the evidence speak for itself.
And that evidence is powerful.
Before we go any further, I want to set a very deliberate tone for everyone listening right now.
Please do. This history demands a clear posture.
This archive, compiled by Alan Townsend, is absolutely not a sad story.
No, the compiler's guide emphasizes that this is a restoration story.
Right. It's a testimony of a people under a prophetic weight.
They carried that weight with their families intact, generation after generation.
So we're approaching this testimony with the utmost dignity and gravity.
This is a story of endurance, not defeat.
We are going to trace this lineage, which originated in Sierra Leone and Liberia, West Africa.
That's confirmed through Barbara's family research and census records, according to document 2.
Here's where it gets really interesting for those following along.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it shows the fulfillment of Deuteronomy 28.68.
That verse speaks of being brought into bondage again with ships, which is the middle passage.
And document 3 links this directly to Charlie Hosley, whose parents were original Africans brought by ship.
Charlie and his wife Mary, who lived to be over 100, are your great-great-great-grandparents on the mother's side.
Mary was taken from her parents as a small child and sold into Louisiana, never knowing her origin.
This heartbreaking detail lines up with the curse of having children taken from them.
And Mary's story reinforces how essential the memory carried by people like baby girl Betty Townsend truly is.
Alan Townsend compiled this archive because his grandmother, baby girl, remembered the name.
Oh, go for it.
Baby girl is actually my mother, and she's actually watching.
Ah, yeah,
Baby girl is my mother, and she's watching right now.
Wow, that is incredible.
Oh, that is amazing. Hello, Betty Townsend.
Hello, baby girl. We are so honored.
It is truly an honor to be discussing your family's history.
And Alon Townsend, your son, the compiler of this archive, mentions you by name.
Yes, this archive literally would not exist without her memory.
He calls you the living bridge to the documented history.
What's fascinating here is that baby girl is the one who connected the family she knew to the deeper history.
Exactly. And your memory, baby girl, confirmed what Barbara's research documented.
You carried this history in your body for decades.
Without a document, without a platform, you remembered the names and the stories.
And that persistence in memory is what fuels this entire restoration story.
The power in this archive is that it provides the evidence for it.
Her knowledge and memory made this whole documented history reachable for Elon.
You are the living bridge, connecting the past to the present for the Mishpaka.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it shows how those details, like the memory of the names and locations, are vital.
Now, we were just mentioning Charlie and Mary.
Yes, your great-great-great-grandparents on the mother's side.
And the archive also details Mary and Charlie's lives.
They are buried at Millet Hills Baptist Church in Farmerville, Louisiana.
Around the same time, 2 other people were being sold in Mississippi.
Thomas and Kelaine Brown. They were chained and marched into Union Parish, Louisiana.
That terrifying journey fits the description of the iron yoke of bondage.
Yes, the historical record confirms how domestic slave sales operated then.
Document 4 of the archive gives us that chronological movement.
It then moves forward to Harrison Hannon Sr., who stayed in Union Parish.
He was the child who stayed on the land his father left him.
By 1896, Harrison owned 120 acres of land in his own name.
This family was holding on, despite the scattering,
Speaking of which, the family ultimately scattered across the country.
which is also documented by Deuteronomy 28.64.
That's the verse about being scattered among all people from one end of the earth to the other.
We see that scattering today in the zip codes.
From Dubuque, Louisiana to Evanston, Illinois and Flint, Michigan.
The Social Security Death Index records, where each person ended their days.
It gives you the forensic evidence of that ancient prophecy unfolding.
So what does this all mean?
This archive, baby girl, is dedicated to you.
It honors all the women who remembered, like Mary Hosley and Anbeta Russell.
But especially you, baby girl. The Michpaka owes you their knowledge of who they are.
Thank you so much for joining us and letting us share this incredible story today.
This restoration story is truly powerful.
We appreciate your insights and for sharing this journey with us.
We'll catch you next time for our next deep dive.
Until then, keep digging into those archives. Document 3 is what provides the lens. Document 3 is a meticulous analysis of Deuteronomy chapter 28.
And in this archive, Deuteronomy 28 is never treated as, abstract theology or ancient poetry.
Right, not at all.
It's the legal and prophetic framework through which this family's survival is documented. It's the ancient contract you mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah, the 3,000-year-old parchment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It outlines the blessings for obedience to ALUH and the highly specific, inescapable curses for disobedience.
Before we go any further, I want to set a very deliberate
Real quick, Ms. Baca, the system cannot say ALUAH. It spells it out and then it messes it up sometimes. If so, you're wondering like, what is it saying? It's trying to say ALUAH and it just can't say ALUAH. So when it starts to say it sounds like that. It's trying to say it, but it spells it.
tone for you.
Please do.
If you are expecting a tragic, sentimental story to cry over, you are in the wrong place.
Yeah, that's not what this is.
We are
Frankie.
not here today to wallow in a sad story. What you are about to hear is a story of systematic, legally enforced, deliberate erasure that was met with unbreakable intergenerational survival.
It really is.
This is a story of profound restoration, and it is a restoration reclaimed under the true names of the Creator, YAHUAH, and the Mashiach, YAHUSHA.
That is the anchors, that right there. We are dealing with land deeds, federal census ledgers, bills of sale, and the unwavering terms of a covenant.
Real documents.
Real documents. We have to treat these texts with the dignity of binding legal documents because that is exactly what they are.
So let's begin our cartography of origin. We're starting in the late 1700s.
Okay.
We are looking at the West African region, specifically the areas we now call Sierra Leone and Liberia.
Right.
Alan Townsend's archive traces the bloodline's origins directly to this coastal region. But the archive points us to a very specific piece of cartographic evidence, a map.
A very important map.
Specifically, the 1747 Emmanuel Bowen map titled A New and Accurate Map of Negroland and the Adjacent Countries, also Upper Guinea.
To understand why this map is forensic evidence, you have to understand the mechanics of 18th century map making and who Emmanuel Bowen actually was.
Yeah, he wasn't just some guy drawing pictures.
No, he was not a casual artist. He was a royal cartographer. He
Mm.
was officially appointed by King George II of England, and he was simultaneously commissioned by King Louis XV of France.
That's a huge deal.
It is. In the 1700s, maps were the primary instruments of empire building. They dictated trade routes, military strategy, resource extraction.
Okay, wait, let me play devil's advocate for a second here.
Go for it.
When people see biblical names on old maps, modern historians often dismiss it. Couldn't a skeptic just argue that Bowen, being a European in the 1700s, was just, imposing a religious metaphor on a region he didn't understand?
Right.
Like maybe he just named it after something familiar from his culture?
Yeah, that is the standard academic deflection.
Right.
But it completely ignores how royal cartography functioned.
How
Well, Emmanuel Bowen was not drawing theological metaphors. His job was to survey geopolitical borders based on physical reality, astronomical observations, and the hard data brought back by ship captains and explorers.
Oh, wow. So it was purely data driven.
Exactly. If a royal cartographer placed a territory on a map, it was because there was a recognized, functioning societal structure there that European powers were interacting with, trading with, or exploiting.
So what exactly did he document on that 1747 map?
If you look at this map, which, by the way, is currently preserved in the Geography and Map Division of the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.,
Right.
you see something profound. Down in the exact coastal region of West Africa where millions of people were stolen, in the territory corresponding to present-day Benin and the surrounding areas, Emmanuel Bowen explicitly labeled a sovereign region.
And what was it called?
He labeled it the Kingdom of Judah.
Just sit with that for a second. The Kingdom of Judah, right there on the slave coast. Not a religious concept, but a physically surveyed, geopolitically recognized territory mapped by the kings of England and France.
And the archive confirms this. Through the research of a family member.
Are y'all picking up so far what it's saying? Kingdom of Judah. Emmanuel Bowen was a map, like a card. He did maps for kings. The Europeans, is that landing? So he drew maps for the kings, the Europeans, right? Is this other nations come in, take you? Just saying. Can I get a BARAK YAHUAH if this is if this adding up? If you're new and you're like, wait a minute, hold up, this is clicking. Yo, let me know if you're new and BARAK YAHUAH.
Named Barbara, the African part of this bloodline, specifically an ancestor named Charlie Hawsley, whose parents were original Africans, came from this exact broader West African coastal zone.
The cartographic proof connects the family's origin point directly to their covenant identity.
It's undeniable.
The people pulled from this coastline and forced into the hulls of ships bound for South Carolina and Georgia were taken from the very territory that European empires recognized as the Kingdom of Judah.
Which brings us directly to the execution of the contract.
Yes, let's get into that.
Let's look at the prophetic framework of Deuteronomy 28 as a historical reality. Look at verse 68.
Okay.
The text dictates, quote, "And Yahuwah shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you."
We have to unpack the mechanics of that verse, because the word Egypt in the historical context of the covenant represents the house of bondage, right?
Right. The legal and physical condition of absolute captivity.
And the mechanism of this specific return to captivity is explicitly stated. With ships, they would be brought to a land they would not know.
And the archive documents that Charlie Hawsley's parents were original Africans, brought by ship from the Sierra Leone and Liberia region to South Carolina.
The Middle Passage.
Exactly. Brought into bondage by ships. It is a one-to-one historical correlation.
But here's what fascinates me about how this is discussed today. Why is it that modern historical narratives constantly frame African-American ancestry as this unsolvable mystery?
Right. They always say it's lost.
Yeah, we are always told it's a disconnected past, a void, yet we literally have an 18th century royal cartographer who mapped their exact covenant identity.
Yes.
And a 3,400-year-old document describing the exact method of their transportation. That is not a mystery.
It's not. It is a deliberate obfuscation.
Wow.
Think about it. If an entire demographic of people believes their history is an unrecoverable void, they will never look for the legal documents that define their identity.
That makes perfect sense.
The system relies on the assumption that you will simply accept the void and not examine the primary sources. But the Emmanuel Bowen map shatters that engineered illusion.
It really does.
It provides the exact geographic coordinate that triggers the stipulations of the covenant in Deuteronomy 28, verse 68.
Okay, so we have the origin point, we have the mechanism of the ships. Let's trace the physical route.
Okay, let's do it.
The family is brought from those ships to the shores of South Carolina and Georgia. This is the entry point of the domestic slave trade.
Right.
And the archive zeroes in on a highly specific, massively documented operation, the Pierce Butler plantation.
This is a critical juncture in the documentary evidence because we have to understand the economic engine of the era.
Yeah, let's talk about the money.
We are not just talking about anonymous, unskilled agricultural labor. We are talking about the foundation of the wealth of the nation.
Absolutely.
Major Pierce Butler was an Irish-born British military officer. He arrived in the American colonies, married into immense South Carolina plantation wealth, and positioned himself perfectly during the Revolution.
And he didn't just passively benefit from the system. He was one of its primary legal architects.
Yes, he was.
In 1787, Pierce Butler was appointed as a South Carolina delegate to the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. He was a founding father.
a literal founding father.
And at that convention, he explicitly demanded and secured the inclusion of the Fugitive Slave Clause. He ensured that the protections for human bondage were baked into the foundational legal document of the United States of America.
It's chilling when you realize the legal framework.
Yo, you know, apparently, y'all, I'm going to ask a question. And there's a curveball coming. How many people are aware about what happened recently with Ghana president and all the nations voting about slavery being the worst thing in history? Let me know in the comments if you're aware of this. I don't know if you've seen his little speech he did. So apparently there's 3 countries that said no, while pretty much it was a landslide of all other countries saying yes, except some were sitting in the middle or something like that. But 3 countries said no, we don't. And those 3 countries happen to be United States of America, Israel, and I think it was Venezuela or Argentina. One of those 2, I can't remember. Okay, so I think might have been Argentina. Not 100% sure. Don't even care. But as I'm listening to the president of Ghana, I first saw his hands. He was giving Freemason. He was doing this the entire time. So that right there told me deception is here. So when I saw him doing the Freemason thing and he kept dropping it, I'm thinking like, this is smoke and mirrors. Pay attention. So I'm paying attention. I want y'all to pay attention to this if you know what I'm talking about. Don't go rooting for that yet, because there's a lot of lies. Or if I don't know if you paid attention what this man just really said and tied to all this stuff. Number one, he didn't even bring up right of return. When I dig deeper into the right of return, apparently it's all biased. They're going for a money grab. And there's 3 questions asked. He had asked about the United. I might actually clip this and show y'all on another day. But if you're aware of this, he's talking to Al Sharpton, is what he mentioned. Like, yo, another puppet, and y'all playing us like Boo Boo the Fool. Like all of y'all. Hold on, there's something that triggered my thought. Let me back it up just a little bit if I could. Hold on.
Document of the United States of America.
It's chilling when you realize the legal framework.
Yes, I remember now. America and Israel and one of the, I forget the other one, had all said no. And I can't help but think like, yo, you documented this stuff. You teach us in school about slavery. I just found it fascinating, the pride of, this nation. I don't really care about that Ghana stuff. I just don't. Once I saw his hands, I'm thinking like, yo, you with the enemy anyway. So whatever you're doing, you're helping them deceive us. You're either distracting, but I also realize that content also creates division. So that's what they want. So don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Like they're playing us. They're playing us like Boo Boo the Fool. Because when you get a bunch of black folks saying see, and that's gonna hike up the people that's already angry at everybody for this, that, and the other. It's a setup. Don't even fall for it. So, but let's just keep it nice and simple. Like you got a royal cartographer from Europe comes in, draws the place, and then labels the area, right? Labels the area of who the people are. That means they knew who they were taking. Brought us to this land. And as you listen to this, if you haven't figured it out yet, America was built on the backbone of the melanated brothers and sisters. As much as some people may not want to hear that, America knows it. At one point, they brought in the picture. They weren't just using us. Now they're using everybody. All the nations get used. But America was built. But let's not forget, it's part of the book, right? It's part of the curse. It's part of the curse. You can't get past that. So it doesn't matter what they're doing up front. It's still going to point back to Yahuwah said this was going to happen. Can I get a Barak Yahuwah?
He built. And by 1793, he had expanded his empire, purchasing Butler Island in McIntosh County, Georgia, along with Hampton Point Plantation on St. Simon's Island.
It was a massive operation.
It was. By the time Pierce Butler died in 1822, his operation was staggering. He legally possessed more than 500 enslaved people.
500 people.
500. And they were working 800 acres of cotton and 300 acres of rice.
Let's stop and look at the how and why here. Why those specific crops and why those specific people?
That's the key question.
Because it wasn't just raw, replaceable manual labor. The enslaved people brought to Butler Island possessed highly specialized, deeply technical West African agricultural knowledge.
Yes.
They knew how to grow tidal marsh rice. I really want you listening to understand what this entails because it is an engineering marvel. You don't just throw rice seeds into a swamp.
Not at all. Tidal marsh or rice farming requires a master-level understanding of hydrology.
Right.
You have to carve massive plantations out of cypress swamps. You have to build complex systems of earthen dikes, canals, and wooden floodgates called trunks that operate on the gravitational pull of the lunar tides.
It's basically a massive hydraulic machine.
Exactly.
Ms. Paca, are y'all picking up, like we just studied the book, did we not? I was over here looking so I could read it real quick again, but I mean, we just studied it. Now, didn't Yahuwah just say that he was going to do that? Like, what you grow, what you do, you're not going to be able to benefit from. Other nations will. That's book, right? If you believe that's book, if that's book, can you put that's book in the comments, please? That happened.
When the tide comes in, it pushes fresh river water up over the salt water, and you open the floodgates to irrigate the fields. When the tide goes out, you open the gates to drain them.
And Pierce Butler didn't know how to do that.
No.
The British didn't know how to do that. That was expertise developed over centuries in the rice-growing regions of West Africa, stretching from Senegal down past Liberia.
Precisely.
Pierce Butler lived in palatial luxury in Philadelphia, far away from the malarial swamps of Georgia, while the highly specialized ancestral scientific knowledge of his enslaved workforce produced his immense wealth.
It's pure extraction.
Their own generational genius was weaponized against them to build their captor's empire.
That is the terrifying efficiency of the plantation system. It extracted not just physical labor, but generational intellect.
Right.
But fortunes built entirely on extraction and exploitation are notoriously unstable across generations.
They usually don't last.
No, they don't. And this brings us to the grandson, Pierce Mies Butler.
Oh, man, here we go.
He inherited this massive, finely tuned plantation empire, and he proceeded to completely squander the family fortune.
Called what?
On gambling, stock market speculations, and lavish living in Philadelphia.
So he went bankrupt.
He did.
And to satisfy his creditors and save his own social standing, he orchestrated an event that remains documented as the largest single sale of human beings in American history.
March 2nd and 3rd, 1859.
It is recorded in history as the weeping time.
Pierce Mies Butler sold 436 men, women, and children.
Just staggering numbers.
The logistics of the sale are brutal to consider. They were transported to the Ten Brook Race Course, a racetrack in Savannah, Georgia.
A racetrack?
Yeah. They were housed in the horse stalls while buyers from all over the country inspected them.
Wow.
And the historical record notes that torrential rain poured for the entire 2 days of the auction. Families that had lived together on the Butler plantations for generations were systematically dismantled on that racetrack.
Parents were forced to stand in the mud and watch as their children were auctioned off to different buyers, knowing with absolute certainty they would never see them again.
It's devastating.
When you read the historical accounts of the weeping time, and then you open document 3 of the archive and read Deuteronomy 28, verse 32, it takes your breath away.
Yes.
The contract says, quote, "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand."
That is why we say this is a legal execution. There shall be no might in thine hand.
No power to stop it.
Exactly.
Yo, Marilyn, Luca, highlight that one. Luca nailed it. Miss Paca. For all the people in the world, when you participate in your Thanksgiving and then you have your Black Friday, that's where Black Friday came from. The sale of black folk. They made deals and they rub it in our face. Luca is 100. That brother did his homework. I just didn't say nothing yet. Luca beat me to the punch. Black Friday is based off of this. So everybody is participating in your Christmas. BARAK YAHUAH for you, I guess. You've been serving the enemy. And they've been mocking you, making you go buy stuff and spend money. You've been played like Boo the Fool while you worship other idols. Instead of focusing on the book and actually opening up the book and see what it's actually saying, you much rather go buy some items that you go idolize while you go do it. Go buy your TVs and all your other stuff, and didn't even know you traced the history all the way back to the sale of the black community. BARAK YAHUAH.
The legal structure of the United States in 1859, the very structure Pierce Butler helped create in the Constitution, ensured that these parents had absolutely no legal, physical, or economic power to stop the separation of their families.
They can only look and fail with longing.
And we have to ask, where did those 436 people go?
Right, because the Savannah racetrack wasn't a final destination.
No, it was a distribution hub.
The domestic slave trade was a hyper-efficient logistical network. The people purchased at those Georgia auctions were loaded onto wagons, trains, and boats heading deep into the interior.
Yes, into Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana.
And this perfectly aligns with the arrival of the Hannon and Fountain bloodlines into Union Parish, Louisiana.
The demographic shift is completely documented. We see ancestors.
Yo, I got to stop for a second. I'm going to talk to one specific person. AJ, I love you, son. Listen to what this is telling you. Your ancestors, son, was there. Your ancestors. Y'all, I'm talking directly to my boy. Your ancestors were in the weeping time, being rained on in Savannah, Georgia. And then listen, son. Listen to what your ancestors had to go through.
Ancestors born in South Carolina and Georgia in the 1830s and 1840s, suddenly appearing in the federal records in Louisiana by 1870.
So the domestic trade route is the connective tissue.
Yes, it connects the coastal rice plantations to the deep interior cotton fields.
Let's follow that precise route. Let's look at the physical march to Louisiana.
Okay.
The archive documents the domestic trade routes that brought the Hannon and Fountain lines, as well as the Brown line, into Ward 4, Union Parish, Louisiana. I want to focus on one visceral, meticulously preserved account from the archive regarding Thomas and Callan Brown.
This is a vital piece of documentary evidence preserved by the family researcher.
Yeah.
Thomas was born around 1830. Callan was born around 1832. They were both born into slavery in Mississippi.
And they were put on an auction block in Yalobusha County, Mississippi. The record shows that Callan was sold for $1,800. Let's pause for some context here. What does $1,800 represent in the 1850s?
It is an astronomical sum for the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah. In the 1850s economy, $1,800 would be the equivalent of buying a high-end luxury industrial machine today or a large piece of commercial real estate.
Oh.
It demonstrates the immense capital value the system placed on human flesh and reproductive capacity.
Oh.
And after this.
Now consider this real quick. So it just told you that pretty much one of our ancestors was sold, and that the equivalent of today's time is the equivalent of buying land. And not to mention, there's more information that I didn't get in there to where Pierce Butler made over $303 something thousand, equivalent to, like, that was his net worth, and equivalent to that time frame, to today's time frame, that's $8 million.
Sale in Mississippi, Thomas and Callan were chained together to be moved to their new location in Louisiana.
Let's explain the mechanics of how human beings were transported overland during.
Oh, and while I'm at it, it's funny how if you hear this and you understand this, and then you got like United States pretty much telling us kick rocks. Like, you know, hey, we're not gonna acknowledge it, even though we know we screwed you, even though we know that we documented it, hid it, we safely tucked it in like 5 or 6 million maps where you guys will never know to look. But hey, BARAK, YAHUAH, we found it anyways, United States. So, you know, hey, back to you. And somebody needs to call the YAHUAH police. Marilyn, I was looking for the boo. There we go.
During this era, because they didn't just put them in wagons.
No, they used a system called a coffle.
Right, a coffle or a slave chain gang. The description of this march in the archive is harrowing. They were placed in a chain gang that stretched for half a mile.
A half a mile long. Just imagine the logistical terror of that.
Hundreds of people chained together by the wrists and necks, marching on foot from Mississippi down into Union Parish, Louisiana, barefoot. The archive explicitly states they were marched barefoot, they were in rags, they were half-starved.
And at night, there were no shelters. The chain gang simply stopped, and the people slept on the bare dirt, still locked in their chains.
If you are listening to this and feeling overwhelmed by the sheer mechanical brutality of what we are describing, I want to ground you for a second.
It was a zoom out.
We often hear the word biblical used as a casual adjective to describe something mythical or larger than life. A biblical flood, a biblical storm.
Right, the late exaggeration.
Exactly. But when we look at Alan Townsend's archive, we have to strip away the mythical filter.
Yes.
This isn't abstract poetry. This is a literal half-mile-long chain gang. These are literal forged iron chains. These are specific, verifiable people. Thomas and Kaylin Brown marching barefoot through specific Louisiana zip codes.
Yes.
They were sold to the Brown family, which is where that surname originated, and later sold again to the Joyner family in Farmerville, Louisiana.
Now hold that documented historical event up against the legal contract of Deuteronomy 28, verse 48.
Okay, let's read it.
The text dictates exactly what will happen. Quote, "Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which YAHUAH shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee."
Hunger, thirst, nakedness, a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Yes.
Thomas and Caroline lived the execution of that exact verse. The archive demands that we look at the historical record and the ancient covenant text simultaneously. The evidence proves the execution.
Real quick, Ms. Paca, I need somebody who believes. Hold on, we're going to come back to that. I need somebody who believes on Revelation 2:9, people. Hold on.
Revelation 2:9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
I need to see that in their history, because that Deuteronomy 28 is considered the last time that YAHUAH's people would be put in captivity. Like, if anybody has any information where these people here.
Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
I would love to see this information about them having an iron and a yoke around their neck. But I got the receipts here. We've done the homework, and not to mention, United States, I just want to remind you, United States, you actually teach us this in school. And for some reason, that just went right over our heads. Because while you teach us this in school, the church doesn't teach us that, the iron or yoke. They kind of brush past that. Pastors, I gotta ask you, like, where's your responsibility in this? Pastors, I need you to show me the connection of the Revelation 2:9, people. Pastors, you've been teaching that Jesus and that they are the people. So I need some of you pastors to step up and be like, oh yeah, sure, Elon. Let me find. You can't find it in history. Wake up.
execution of the contract.
It does. It absolutely does. But the physical subjugation, the iron chains, the forced marches, the auction blocks, that was only the first layer of the execution.
There's more.
Oh, yes. Once the people were physically relocated and locked into the agricultural system of the Deep South, a second, equally devastating system of subjugation was deployed against them.
And this was the erasure of their identity through paper.
Yes, the paper erasure.
This brings us to the federal census ledgers.
Mm.
We are looking at the period from 1870 to 1910. The archive focuses heavily on John and Nancy Hannon and Frank and Annie Fountain, all living in Ward 4, Union Parish, Louisiana.
Right.
When you look at these official United States government documents, you aren't just looking at names and dates. You are looking at the systemic weaponization of illiteracy.
We have to analyze the deliberate nature of these documentation gaps.
Okay.
In the 1880 federal census, Frank Fountain and his wife Annie are explicitly listed with the designation, cannot read or write.
Wow.
Now, we must be very clear about the mechanism behind that reality. This is not a failure of their intelligence or an accident of their environment.
No, it was a legal mandate. It was a criminal offense in most southern states to teach an enslaved person to read or write. It was punishable by fines, imprisonment, or severe physical violence. Why? Because if you control knowledge, you control identity. If a person cannot read or write, they cannot verify the documents, the contracts, or the ledgers that govern their entire existence.
It's forced blindness.
Yeah. The archive notes that Molly Fountain, their daughter, could not keep written records of her own children's birth dates. When the census takers came to the door, she had to guess her children's ages.
And this enforced illiteracy allowed the governmental system to commit outright identity theft with total impunity.
Identity theft by the state.
Let's look at how the 1880 census was actually conducted. You have a census taker.
Ms. Parker, keep in mind they spoke Hebrew. They spoke Hebrew. So they clearly could not read or write English. Oh, but Hebrew, they were gang. And notice that the church even tells you, ask Pastor, if you watching this, could you like snitch? Not even snitches, pastors. You know that our creator's a Hebrew creator. Whether you want to call him God, Jehovah, whatever you want to call him, you know that the history tells you that he's a Hebrew creator. Isn't it fascinating? It's fascinating that a Hebrew creator who tells us in Deuteronomy that another nation is going to come in and going to take you captive. You're going to be worshiping their gods. He told us to our face that you're going to switch it up. Is this adding up? Is this landing? Is this connecting? I'm just curious. Can I get a BARAK YAHUAH in the comments, please?
Usually a local white man employed by the government riding up to a cabin on a horse.
Okay.
He stands on the porch. He looks at a family of formerly enslaved people whom society has deemed inferior, and he asks them their names.
Right.
They answer, often with regional dialects, and he just scribbles down whatever he thinks he hears or whatever he feels like writing.
He doesn't ask them to spell it because he knows they legally weren't allowed to learn how.
Right.
And they can't look at his ledger to correct him. I want you to think of this like a corrupted computer hard drive.
That's a great analogy.
Imagine you have a highly complex, infinitely valuable file, your family's entire history and identity, and the government comes along and just starts overwriting that file with random keystrokes.
Yes.
Changing the code every 10 years until the original file is unrecognizable. Look at the spelling of John Hannon's name. Across 40 years of government documents, his last name is recorded 6 different ways.
6.
Hanman, Hannon, Harmon, Hannon, Wannon, Hannon.
6 different ways for the exact same man. That is the lazy, bureaucratic indifference of a system that simply could not be bothered to record a people's name correctly.
Right.
But the archive makes a much more profound point about identity theft here.
What's that?
The name John Hannon was not his original name to begin with. The ancestors who survived the Middle Passage were forcibly assigned English names by the people who claimed to own them.
Ah, of course.
Their original names or true names were Hebrew names, names that carried a covenant identity far older than any European nation. Those original names were, as the archive powerfully states, drowned in the Atlantic.
And it wasn't just the names that were corrupted. It was the fundamental classification of who they were as human beings.
The racial categories.
Yes, look at the shifting racial categories in these documents. Across his lifetime, the exact same man, John Hannon, was recorded by the United States government as colored, black, mulatto, and even white or Mexican on a death index.
The government was never sure what to call a people they had systematically tried to reduce to nothing.
It's absurd.
It is. These census errors, the misspellings, the shifting racial classifications, these are not mere clerical mistakes. They are forensic evidence.
You show a pattern.
Yes, they showed a dominant system actively attempting to strip a people of their identity, their stability, and their history on paper.
Which brings us to another critical piece of prophetic evidence. For this, we look at the Apocrypha.
The Apocrypha, yes.
Now, if you aren't familiar with the Apocrypha, these are ancient historical and prophetic texts that were historically included in original scriptures, like the 1611 King James Bible, but were later removed by modern publishing systems.
Yeah.
In the Apocrypha, specifically 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 57, the text says, quote, "And now, O Yahuwah, these nations which are reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands."
The nations devouring them, overriding their identity, giving them assigned names, misspelling those assigned names, changing their racial categories decade by decade to suit the political climate.
Right.
The names in the census ledgers are the names the devouring nations gave them. It is the documented experience of a people whose actual identity was not considered worth preserving accurately by the powers that ruled over them.
But, and this is the incredible pivot point of this entire deep dive, the system failed.
It did fail.
The system tried to erase them on paper. It tried to overwrite the hard drive, but the core data survived. Because of the keepers of memory, the women of the bloodline.
This is where the narrative shifts.
Yeah.
It shifts from the oppressive machinery of the state to the internal resilience of the family. When the official paper record is corrupted by design, the survival of truth depends entirely on oral history. It depends on the sheer willpower of the people who remember.
The archive deliberately centers this narrative on the women. Let's look at the life of Mary Hosley.
Okay.
She was born into slavery in South Carolina sometime between 1830 and 1846. She was half white. Her slave master was her father.
Right.
As a very small child, she was...
Ms. Parker, pay very, very close attention to what it's about to say. But before I hit play again, I want to take the opportunity to speak to a particular family in Louisiana. If you are anywhere in these areas in Louisiana and you know about this family, and particularly the Wade family, whatever descendants are left, I'm going to take a moment and talk directly to you. If any of the Wade family descendants, you make it to this piece of content, the stories that you are going to hear is what your ancestors did to my ancestors. The podcast is not going to tell you a part that I am going to share. You've traumatized, not you, but you know that your plantations and your land and the areas that you have was built off of slavery. Here you have a descendant of those people addressing you, not as fault, but I just want to let you know that this happened. And we have the documentation. And if you ever catch this, stick around because I got something else to tell you after we hear everything it has to say. We're going to come back and talk about my grandfather, Ernest Tenzie. Wade family. I'm really in law that you catch this. And if you do, please reach out. It's not out of anger. Honestly, I would love to just meet you. I'm sure you're not the same people as your family members in the past. But I would definitely love to have a conversation with you and share with the information I have. Why? Because you're actually probably sitting on about 120 acres of our land.
Sold away from her parents and brought down into Louisiana. She was taken before she was old enough to form lasting memories of her origins. She didn't know exactly where she came from because of the erasure we just talked about. She didn't even know her exact age.
She was owned by the Wade family in Farmerville, Louisiana. But despite having her geographic origins severed from her at a young age, she became the living testimony of her generation.
She really did.
Mary Hosley lived to be over 100 years old. She died in the early 1930s as the oldest surviving formerly enslaved person in the area.
And the archive describes her funeral. It wasn't just a family gathering. It was a massive communal event. It had genuine celebrity status in that Louisiana community.
Right. Everyone was there.
So many people came from all around the area, both black and white attendees, that they could not fit inside the Millard Hills Baptist Church. They had to stand outside in the sweltering Louisiana heat just to pay their respects. Mary Hosley became an absolute anchor of memory for that community.
And that profound tradition of women carrying the memory forward brings us to the crucial identity pivot of this entire archive.
Who are we talking about?
It brings us to a woman named Betty Townsend.
Yes, known to the entire community as Baby Girl.
We must explicitly state her vital role here. Betty Baby Girl Townsend is the mother of Elon Townsend.
Elon Townsend, the architect of the archive we are analyzing today.
Yes. Without Baby Girl, this archive does not exist. The document states it plainly. She was the one who kept the photographs. She was the one who remembered the names. She held the stories. She carried this profound multi-generational history in her mind and in her spirit across decades, long before there was a platform to share it, and without anyone officially asking her to catalog it.
She is the bridge. I want you to think about how incredible this dynamic is. The family researcher, Barbara, dug into the federal census ledgers, but it was Baby Girl's living memory that confirmed the truth hidden beneath the bureaucratic errors.
Yes.
It was her memory, her voice, passed directly to her son Elon, that allowed him to unlock the federal paper trail.
Consider the immense power imbalance here. You have the United States federal government with all of its vast resources, its ledgers, its census takers on horseback, its official stamps, and its legal mandates producing a flawed, erasing, entirely apathetic record of this family.
A massive machine.
Right. Now, on the other side, you have one mother, Betty Townsend, armed only with her memory and her voice. And her precise memory fundamentally overrides and corrects the errors of the United States government. The oral history of a mother is the master key that unlocks the truth hidden beneath the corrupted paper trail.
It's a breathtaking demonstration of resilience. The bureaucratic system says, we will spell your name 6 different ways until you don't exist on paper.
Right.
And the mothers of the bloodline say, we know exactly who we are and we will tell our children.
That is exactly how you defeat systemic erasure. You refuse to forget. And that refusal to forget translated into a relentless physical drive for survival.
They kept moving forward.
The plantation system was designed to scatter them, to break the family units, and to keep them in perpetual generational poverty after emancipation. But when you look at the actions of the Hannon family post-emancipation, you see a masterclass in defiance.
Let's look at Generation 1.
Hold on, Ms. Parker. I don't know why. I don't know when the phone. Is it blurry to y'all? It seems blurry to me. Hold on a second. I'm gonna do that. Ah, there we go. That's all I need to do is clean it. Just a clean one. Sorry.
John and Nancy Hannon, formerly enslaved in Shiloh Union Parish, they raised 8 children. Sometime between 1880 and 1900, John Hannon made a massive life-altering decision.
Yes, he did.
He packed a covered wagon, pulled by mules, gathered the family members who wanted to come, and departed Louisiana. He moved his family to Mound Bayou, Mississippi.
And we really must explain what Mound Bayou was, because it was not just another town.
No.
It was an all-black, self-governed municipality founded in 1887 by formerly enslaved people. It was a haven of independence.
Wow.
John Hannon was seeking autonomy. He was seeking a place where his family could govern themselves away from the immediate violence of the Jim Crow structures. By the 1900 and 1910 census, he and Nancy are documented there in their 60s, married, together, and still standing.
But when John drove that mule-pulled wagon to Mississippi, he left one son behind. Harrison Hannon Sr. was left in Louisiana. He was just 14 years old.
14.
Now, wait, let me pause here. Leaving a 14-year-old behind sounds like abandonment. How do we contextualize this?
It wasn't abandonment. It was a strategic distribution of assets.
Okay, explain.
Marilyn, bring that back up. How's the Wade family related to this presentation? It's not you. I don't know. The Wade family was another. What it was talking about is there's Major Pierce Butler, then Men's Pierce. After Men's Pierce, everybody was sold from that plantation. The Wade family actually bought one of our ancestors came from the Wade family. But later on, which is what you're about to hear right now, is the part where the Wade family is a part of. You're going to find out about that in this moment, but there's a piece that's not mentioned in this that I am going to tell you about. And so there's more to this story after you hear this, but this part right here is powerful. Just to catch you up, what it just said is Hannon was he was 14 years old. His dad left him at the age of 14, but he leaves him with the property. He leaves him with goods. He set him up for success. And because he didn't want to go, I guess, but he held this land down by himself, created a whole family, 13 children. And the part that I haven't said yet, I mentioned it yesterday in live in this, our small group. So I'm gonna share it more. I'm gonna share it here. But the part that I'm talking about, connected to the Wade family, you're gonna have to hear this piece to understand it all. I hope that was helpful. That just caught my attention. Plus, I saw Wade County.
Explain that.
John left his 14-year-old son equipped. He left him with land, clothing, and household goods. He was anchoring a part of the family in Louisiana while establishing a new front in Mississippi.
And Harrison Hannon Sr., who is Generation 2, proves the brilliance of that strategy. His story is an absolute testament to holding ground.
It really is.
By 1896, this man, who had stayed behind at age 14, held 120.51 acres of land in Lincoln and Union Parish in his own name.
That's incredible.
The system tried to ensure that formerly enslaved people would sharecrop forever, that they would never own the earth they worked. But Harrison held 120 acres.
His personal familial resilience is just as staggering as his economic resilience. Harrison's first legal marriage was to Molly Liggins in 1887. She died young, leaving him with 4 children.
Oh, wow.
He took a second partner who also died young, leaving him 3 more children.
So what did he do?
Harrison raised those 7 children from 2 different women, alone. As the archivist notes, both mothers were dead. He raised 7 children alone. He did not scatter them to other relatives. He kept his household together.
And then around 1910, Harrison began a common law household with Molly Fountain. Remember the Fountains? The family from Georgia, whose parents were marked, cannot read or write in the 1880 census.
Right, they lived right next door.
They lived right next door in Ward 4. From this union came a third set of children, bringing Harrison's total to at least 13 children across his lifetime. He battled colon cancer and died peacefully in his sleep at his home in Dubois, Louisiana in 1948 at the age of 84.
One of the children from that third set with Molly Fountain was Ernest Hannon, Generation 3, born in 19...
This is Ernest. This is my grandfather. And they called him Tinsy. What you guys don't know about this story yet, and I'm going to share it with you now. My mom shares this, and I could just see it. I could see it in her eyes. My mom shared this story with me about, I can only picture how she layered it out. And it just sounded like they were on a dirt road and some white people had came during that time frame, those type of, and they were pretty much insulting my grandfather, calling him the N-word and all these things. And my mom, she was telling me, she was about to question grandpa in front of them. Like, why are you letting these men talk to you like that? And she expresses that when she was about to talk, grandpa pretty much told her, stop talking, like, shut up, don't say anything. And she knew it was a serious situation, so clearly she hushed it up. But she goes on to tell me why. Because my grandfather, he was on that plantation, and the Wade family, they came with shotguns and they forcibly took the land. So Harrison held it down as long as he could, but at one point they came in and took it by force. And my grandfather was traumatized by that.
In 21, the family called him Tinsy.
Tinsy.
The economic realities of the time were harsh. Tinsy had to quit school in the 5th grade to work the farm and help his mother. Ernest married Tiny Brown.
And this is where the two major bloodlines of the archive unite. The Hannon line and the Brown line, tracing all the way back to Thomas and Colin Brown from the chain gang. Ernest and Tiny raised 11 children in Union Parish, Louisiana.
The families fought with everything they had to stay together, to build wealth, to hold their land. But the systemic pressures of the 20th century, the lack of economic opportunity, the violence of the Jim Crow South, the industrial boom in the North, inevitably led to physical movement.
And this brings us to the modern scattering.
We look at the children of Harrison Hannon Sr., and we track them through the Social Security Death Index, and we see the Great Migration happening in real time, completely documented within this one family.
Right.
Nehemiah stayed in Louisiana. Arizona moved north to Evanston, Illinois. Shelby moved to Flint, Michigan. Harrison Jr. moved west to California.
Once again, we have to hold this documented logistical movement up against the legal contract of Deuteronomy 28. Look at verse 64.
What does it say?
Quote, "And YAHUAH shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other."
From the kingdom of Judah in West Africa to the plantations of South Carolina, from South Carolina to the rice fields of Georgia,
right?
From the auction block in Georgia to the chain gangs of Mississippi, from Mississippi to the soil of Louisiana, and from Louisiana to the industrial centers of Illinois, Michigan, and California, scattered from one end of the earth even unto the other.
The archive explicitly notes this. This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 64, rendered in Social Security numbers and modern American zip codes. It is documented in the Federal Death Index. It is undeniable.
It is the perfect synthesis of the entire journey. A system tried to devour them. It tried to erase their covenant names in the census ledgers and replace them with bureaucratic errors.
But they tried to break them.
It tried to break their family structures on the muddy auction blocks of Savannah. It tried to scatter them across the continent. Yet Harrison Hannon Sr. held 120 acres of land and kept his family intact. Ernest and Tiny raised 11 children, and now, against all statistical odds, this archive exists.
That is why Alan Townsend's archive is not just a standard genealogy project. It is not just a family tree that you frame and hang on a wall in your hallway.
No, it's so much more than that.
It is a restoration tool. We are talking about the rebuilding of the mishpacha. For those who might not know, mishpacha is the Hebrew word for family, for clan, for the bloodline connection.
Yes.
This archive is actively rebuilding the mishpacha under the true identity of YAHUAH and YAHUSHA.
It takes the very evidence of their scattering, the very evidence of the curses that were executed upon them, and uses that exact evidence to prove the true identity of the people. It is a profoundly redemptive use of historical trauma.
The trauma is no longer just pain.
No, it's proof of identity.
This deep dive has covered an immense scope. Take a breath and think about the journey we have just walked through together.
It's a lot.
We started with Emmanuel Bowen, a royal cartographer for the kings of England and France, physically surveying and labeling the Kingdom of Judah on a 1747 map of West Africa.
Right.
We moved to the staggering agricultural wealth of Pierce Butler, built on stolen African hydrology. We witnessed the agonizing legal separation of the weeping time on the auction blocks of Georgia. We marched barefoot in a half-mile chain gang with Thomas and Callie Brown into Louisiana.
Yes, we did.
We saw the intentional, apathetic erasure of identities by men on horseback scribbling in federal census ledgers. We witnessed the fierce, living memory of Betty Baby Girl Townsend preserving the truth against the weight of the U.S. government, and it all culminates here in Alan Townsend's meticulously compiled archive.
When you look at this history through the lens of this archive, you're not just looking at the past. You're not just dusting off old documents.
What are we doing?
You are reading the execution of ancient contracts in real time. You are seeing the word of ALUAH manifest in the soil, the zip codes, and the death certificates of the United States.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought. I want you to really mull this over. The survival of the Hannon bloodline is incredible, but their survival through the exact literal curses of Deuteronomy 28 proves their covenant identity beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yes.
The evidence is all there. The execution of the contract was flawless. But if the documented evidence confirms that the curses of the covenant were executed with such absolute perfect precision upon this specific family, then what does that mean for the unshakable promise of their future inheritance?
A binding contract cuts both ways. The execution of the penalty guarantees the validity of the promise.
Go read Deuteronomy 28 again.
BARAK YAHUAH. Mishpaka, I wanted to share some thoughts with you. Now I want to take the time to actually talk to the new person, and I want to talk to the person on replay. I want to talk to the person that's coming, you're waking up. I want to talk to the person that's coming out of the traditional church system. You're starting to see it. I'm going to talk to all of you. What you just experienced is actually in the book. And I challenge you if you're skeptical. I challenge you if you are waking up in a sense, but you still got questions on a few things. Number one, I want to take note that the traditional church, when it comes to the end times, the traditional church bounces around the book. They bounce around the book. They're going to do a sermon on wars and rumors of wars. They're going to do a sermon on the rivers turning red. They're going to do a sermon on earthquakes and tremors and things of that nature. Or they might do a combination or whatnot. But you know what they don't do? They don't stick to the timeline of the actual end times. There's an actual timeline of things that happen in order. And what they're not telling you is they call it the falling away of the church or something to that nature. But you know what it really is, and they're not touching it. The true identity of his people wake up in the end times. The book is telling you this. Let me say that one more time. There is a timeline. And if you're in the church system, I challenge you to ask your pastor about the timeline. And why haven't you ever thought, because I didn't think about it until later on, about a timeline. When do things happen and in what order? Part of it is his people start to wake up to the truth. It's part of end time prophecies. Your pastors aren't teaching that part. That's very fascinating. Very curious. That's either them deceiving themselves and bouncing around the book, or they're actually studying it and they got some training and they know the truth and they're not telling you for whatever reason. There's many different reasons why they probably could. They could be Freemasons trying to hide stuff. They can pretty much want the money of 501c3, or they've chosen the enemy over the truth. But either way, this is happening. We're waking up. We're waking up faster. And I just want to throw this encouragement out there. I think a lot of y'all have heard me say, tell me in the comments if you heard me say this. And then I'm going to share with you that I told the admins earlier today, before I came live, that I'm noticing something on this profile. How many people are new to the community, say within this week? Because you've caught my attention at a different level. The reason why I'm asking you particularly, this particular week, like within 2 weeks, How many people are like you, like, whoa, I didn't know none of this? If you could have the courage to step up and say it in the comments, here's the reason why I'm saying this. Because I'm on record with telling people we are the first wave, or one of the first waves. I don't know how many waves, but 2020 was a wave of people waking up. And the book tells us exactly how we wake up, through tribulation. This wave that of group that we were in, we woke up 2020, y'all know what happened. It triggered something in us, but at the same time, a lot of us were going through personal tribulations. So we woke up a little earlier because of that. The tribulation is part of the wake up. And something tells me a lot of the new people who have come in, this is how you've started to wake up. First off, the trust in the United States is being broken all across the world, in-house and out-house. So you're questioning them now. You're finally questioning, you're finally seeing it, and you're starting to ask some valid questions. Your curiosity, you're starting to see cracks in the shield and something wasn't making sense to you. Then what you started to do, you're seeing these wars and rumors of wars, and you're seeing everything hike up a little bit. So what did you do? You started to search the internet and started opening up the book and looking for a little bit more answers from God. But you didn't know that you were going to find Yahuwah. You end up catching the truth, and you find somebody like me, and they got other people exposing the enemy and letting you know, like, hey, we're being deceived. And for some reason, when the words hit your ears, something landed. You're part of the second wave. And when I'm telling you, listen to me. This wave is happening in real time. I'm seeing it. If you're new and that was you, can you put, he just read me like a book. I didn't read you. Yahuwah did. I'm just paying attention. We're in the middle of a wake-up wave right now. We're not waiting for it. It's happening right now in real time. And the reason why it's happening right now is because of what's happening. And the more chaos that happens, more people are going to be coming into the truth. I'm telling you, we're in it right now. Let me say it nice and slow. That way everybody's really hearing me. 2020 people, the people that was waking up between 2020 to 2025, 26, you were a wave. You were a wave. Now there's another wave, and I'm telling you, it's happening in real time. We're not waiting for this next wave. The wave is actually started. And how I know? Because I'm seeing it in real time. And let me explain to you what that means. The reason why I'm seeing it in real time, and I'm trying to get you to really hear me, is because I don't know how to say this. I said this yesterday inside the small group. So a big pocket of people that are probably here now, you probably already heard me say this. So when I say this, I'm not saying this with arrogance. I'm trying to make you see the bigger picture here. We the Assembly has 5 platforms on Facebook alone. Main page, which you see me on Facebook, it's 88,000 people just there alone. Then you got my personal page. Then we got a 21,000 like people inside of a small group. Then we got 2 other ones that are like in the thousands. Facebook alone, 5 platforms. Then TikTok. 25-something thousand. You keep doing the numbers. You add up all these numbers. What I'm trying to tell you is I'm seeing DMs. I'm seeing comments. I'm seeing emails at a higher level than most people that are watching this right now and probably watching on replay. And I'm not saying that for cockiness. I'm trying to tell you, while you're probably seeing people just do stuff online, I'm seeing specific movement. I'm seeing people in the comments go, hold up, I didn't know this. Yahuwah, what's Yahuwah? And why does this make sense to me? When you get comments like that, that is telling you something. And when I'm telling you, it's not just 1 or 2 trickling in. It's a lot of them. And it's happening in real time. And I've been paying attention to it this entire week. And I'm not going to lie. Let me go on record with saying, if we get another sit down, you want it. You want it. I have been telling everybody, if there's another one, game on. If there's another sit down, I don't care how it happens. If there's another sit down, Yahuwah's name is going to cut through the internet. Why is it going to cut through the internet? Because in 2020, the internet usage eyeballs went up over 300%. And everybody was freaking out because of that. You don't think that this is a bigger type of freak out for them? We ain't freaked out. We already know it's Yahuwah. And we already had the time to get strong. We already had the time to know that Yahuwah is telling the truth on he'll protect us. If he's knocking this all out one by one, when you're going to wake up, when that happened, when this happened, we started connecting the dots and seeing it. So if we're believing our creator now it's time for another wave to come. And if we have another sit down, you need to be begging for this war. You need to be begging for the energy stuff to go down. You need to be begging. Why? Because it gets us quicker to the end. I'm telling you, if they push them in, game on. Game on. Yahuwah's name is going to go loud. And everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people that ignored it and let it go over their head, something's going to happen. Yahuwah's going to start moving some of that blindness. So stop worrying about your loved one. Trust Yahuwah. I'm trying to tell you, this is happening in real time. Maryland said a story right before we came here. Right before we came on, Marilyn, I'm sorry if I mess it up, sis. Marilyn said she was just out and about. I'm just going to leave it like that. She was out and about. She was wearing a Yahuwah shirt. And then somebody saw the shirt, and the wife or the woman, it was like a couple, I guess. The wife and woman knew Yahuwah's name, and was like, yo, I like your Yahuwah shirt. The lady didn't say, I like the shirt. She said, I like your Yahuwah shirt. Then the man's like, he's like the Yahuwah, but he messed up Yahusha's name. And then Marilyn said the other lady corrected him. And her and Marilyn both said YAHUSHA. Yo, if that story sounds familiar to you and it was a Hispanic lady, Marilyn's the person. We cracked the joke. I was like, Marilyn, it would be really funny if that lady is actually in We the Assembly. Cause I asked, I was like, did you even tell her how, did you ask how she woke up? Marilyn didn't ask. It would be so funny if that lady sitting in our community watching lives and stuff like that, and out of nowhere didn't realize that the Marilyn she met with that shirt is the Marilyn. we had a good chuckle on that. Oh man, BARAK YAHUAH. But Miss Paka, I'm telling you, it's happening in real time. People are starting to catch up. This is another awakening. I'm telling you, we're in the beginning stages of a wave. I'm telling you, I can feel it. And I don't know, yo, I might reach out to John and see if he's feeling the uptake. But there's something going on. But all I know is Yahuwah ain't a liar, man is. So BARAK YAHUAH for that. BARAK YAHUAH for Yahuwah. Rumamu Yahuwah. Ms. Paka, that's all I got for you today. I'm just really wanting I'm in Palal that this was beneficial to somebody, valuable. You already know, when I go live, I have two goals. First goal is to give esteem and to serve our creator, Yahuwah. And the second is to add value to you. And I'm in Palal that both those goals got met today. This was not a sad story. This was a restoration story. Yahuwah preserved everything all the way into the right time frame, the right time. There's a reason why my mom had to go through the things she had to go through so she can hold these stories. There's a reason why how I woke up in the particular time frame. There's a reason why Yahuwah showed me how to work the internet, and I didn't know that I was doing that. I didn't know I was being set up to rep him later on. I didn't know this, but I see it now. I see it now. Mishpaka, let's pick a nice. Let me see. Baby girl, I know you here. Text me if you want your song again. She gonna be like, yes, please. Oh man. BARAK YAHUAH. If she don't text me, I'm gonna find something. Hold on. We're gonna bounce out on something good. Babylon then. Babylon now. That's fitting. Do you believe him? We did Marriage to Liars. I don't want to look over here because I know some of y'all. I already know Kendra probably saying grace ain't a loophole. Then you got Mr. Robinson gonna say dry bones. You know what? End times.
We in the days of prophets, birth pains, rising creation is drawn. Keep your lamp lit, keep your heart right, cause the signs hit harder when you step in the light.
And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him to take peace from the earth. Revelation 6 verse 4. Spoken war and chaos before the final roar.
Birth pains hitting like thunder in the night. Signs all around, but they still want the light. YAHUSHA coming soon, keep your soul upright, cause the world gonna shake when the kingdom take flight. Birth pains, birth pains, birth pains, birth pains, I get light. Birth pains, birth pains, birth pains, I get light. Birth pains, birth pains, birth pains, I get light.
There shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. 2 Esdras 9 verse 3. Spoken shaken in the streets before the trumpet release.
Wasn't the rumors, they rumble and wave. Nations in chaos, the problems behave. Hearts turn cold while the wicked parade, but the remnants stand strong and the truth they obey. Earth growing loud like a woman in pain. Some moons tossing the commas refrain. Every storm shows judgment on the land. Every tremor warn man to understand. They mock the signs cause their eyes gone dim, but the book been speaking and the truth not slim. We watch, we pray, we stay awake, cause the ground shake heavy when the Shamayim break.
You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. Matthew 24 verse 6. Spoken fear fall back when the faithful stand tall.
Watch out, watch the sign. Birth pains rising a warning line. Birth pains in the night, thunder in the night. Signs all around, but they still want the light. Coming soon, keep your soul upright, cause the world gonna shake when the king takes flight. Birth pains, birth pains, birth pains, time getting birth pains, birth pains, birth pains, birth pains, birth pains, time getting.
All these are the beginning of sorrows. Matthew 24 verse 8. Spoken first contractions before the breakthrough.
Blood's rolling where the land once safe. Fires grown high where the wind misplaced. Hearts fear fast when the sky turn red and the ground cry true for the tears we shed. Men celebrate sin in a drunken trance. Earthquake rumble, break their dance. For the ones who endure gonna stand on a rock when the trumpet calls for the world in shock. When famine creeping and wealth turn vain. When the idols fall and the proud complain. When the darkness spreads and the night grow long. The faithful rise up with the rooftops on. Can I get BARAK, YAHUAH in the chat? Bring heat, drop room, YAHUAH. If you walk these streets, type remnant awake. If you done retreat, the assembly stand ready to the cycle complete. To the word, do not trust the defeat. Open up the book and confirm the beat. Let's go. Signs line up, we will not fold. When the world lose our, we stay bold. When the night press close, we go toe. When the trumpet sound, we rise in light. But pains rise, but the remnant fight.
Now it is high time to wake out of sleep. Romans 13 verse 11. Spoken wake up cause the dawn break deep.
Hitting like thunder in the night. Hey, signs all around, but they still want the light. YAHUSHA coming soon, keep your soul alight, cause the world gonna shake when the king they play.